Here we are together again on the internet. Like, say what's up to everybody. Space Monkey, man, the comments are on. If anyone has targeted individual, is a targeted individual, read the document. Wow, it's a lot to read, man. Knowing thyself is a hypnosis wheel. Yeah. Uh, man, the majority, I don't know, man. Kind of zombie land. Yeah, knowing yourself. So you're a targeted individual, man. I mean, maybe, yeah. There's a lot of snakes and fakes and brainwashers out there. Yep, you absolutely right, bro. Chosen name just came out of my head. It's a cool name, man. Space Monkey. Yeah, it's definitely galactic chimp. It's kind of on, man. Uh, I chose that name. Just can somehow connected to Zach. See the brainwashing. Yeah, man. He is just straight Jim Jones level. I say things for a reason. I don't care about him or online. Just point it out. Yeah, man. Yeah, you got to point it out, man. Knowing it's a hypnosis wheel. I mean, knowing it's a weapon and knowing phrases and subliminals can be embedded inside electronics. Yes, they can, man. Breaks the mind control. I tell you, it's a lot, man. It's a lot. The hypnosis is definitely, you got the gurus, the fake gurus trying to do the hypnosis. It's what it is, man. Con artists. Con artists hypnotize victims not through magical trance, but they use covert social engineering, psychological manipulation, 201-68 techniques that induce a state of heightened suggestibility. So that suggestibility is what they base their hypnosis on, as opposed to being a magical trance. And these methods, they create a trance-like compliance. We see that with the trolls that had came over. I mean, dudes is in a straight mind control, man. Mr. X, what's up, bro?
Good to see you, MD. Good to see you. Yeah, great topic. Great topic for sure.
Cool, man.
Can I just say one thing? I'm so glad that's why I love listening to your streams because you get me aware of news that I'd never heard of, and that Colorado thing. I was thinking about it. Those sheriffs, I guess, the police officers who were
Hmm.
doing pro with
Yeah.
the bodies.
Hmm.
I don't think that's a fetish. I think that's satanic. Honestly, I think that's a satanic ritual going on there.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. It might be like initiation or something. You
Definitely.
got to bang a corpse or something to get into the group.
And think
And
about this is law. This is law enforcement. You know what I mean?
oh man, it's
This
crazy.
rabbit hole runs deep, very very deep. People just aren't aware of it.
Very deep, man. People smashing corpses, man. That ain't too cool.
No.
Some sickness there. I mean, Chuck Berry and Hitler and them used to do the coprophilia,
Hmm.
catching dumps in the mouth, coprophilia. I
Well,
was surprised when I first heard it. I was like, nah. You look it up, Chuck Berry. Straight. One guy used to play with classical musicians. He said his friend ran in on, opened the door. Girl Chuck's on the ground. Girl straddle over, dumping. Chuck got his mouth open. I was like, holy smoke. I mean, the sickness,
yeah.
when you look
What's
at
the
that straight.
commonality? You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? What's the commonality? Because it's
Yeah.
not like Chuck Berry was the only guy who did it. He wasn't.
Hmm. Hmm.
So is it something you're born with, or is it they dabble in the occult and they get possessed and start doing weird shit? Weird
Yeah.
crap.
Yeah.
You got
There's a lot of that stuff, man. A lot of that in there.
yeah.
Cuts one, what's up, brother? He said, I appreciate you guys. Yo, man. Thank you, brother. Definitely appreciate you too, man. Cuts
Ooh.
one was laying it on.
Oh, he
Just
was great.
yeah, just
He was great.
destroying, yep, crushing the quack. And yeah, man, that whole sheriff thing, did you look it up and saw more
I,
stuff
I
on it?
didn't I didn't read the article, but
You saw it.
I saw the article, but they got convicted, and then I was watching some other video on satanic rituals and stuff like that, and it's very similar to what they would do horrific, disgusting things. The same thing with the poop, consuming and
Mhm.
the, just all kinds of depraved, sick stuff. And it's so common they came up with a name for it. You know what I'm saying? Actually, because like you said, I forget the name you said that what Chuck Berry was doing, the actual name for it. But
Yeah,
it's they're not
Opophilia.
alone. Yeah, they're not
Yeah,
alone. Same with Necro. You know what I mean? They come up with a
yeah,
name for it because it's not one case that's been recorded. No, it's been many cases. So, hey, like I said, at the end of the day, I'm a truth seeker. I'm a truth seeker. Whether or not you believe that demons exist or that Satanism has any real power, it's kind of irrelevant. The question is, do the people who run this country, that run the world, believe in it? Because if they believe in it, it doesn't matter what we think. You know what I'm saying? That's the only way we're going to get to the truth. Is
hmm
if they believe in something, even if you don't believe in it, that it's real, but if they believe in it, we got to follow where it leads to, because
yeah,
they're the ones making policy. They're the ones deciding our fate.
yeah, yeah.
Hmm? But
Definitely. That guy says cartels in Mexico are also into smashing the dead corpses of
mhm,
their victims. Some of the morgues are owned by them down at wow,
there you
wow.
go. There you go. And they're also, I know for a fact, cartels, because I've watched other videos on it, they're heavily involved in satanic rituals. Heavily involved.
That's crazy, man. A lot of the thing that they were saying with the Aztecs, carving out people's hearts on top of the pyramid and stuff
Which is
seems
true.
to never have stopped.
No, oh no, I don't think it has stopped, but it's true. They did do that. I mean, there's
Yeah,
no,
it's probably just continuing on, you
it
know.
is. It 100%
Yeah,
is. Yeah.
yeah,
Now,
the
surrogate mothers and stuff like that going on, and there's kids
yeah.
being born that are never recorded. You know what I'm saying?
hmm
Yeah,
Yeah, you could see how somebody might not believe the sheriff story,
yeah,
like if they just hear it, they're like, "Come on," because it sounds that crazy.
it does.
It's like it's like you got to be kidding me. It's like you can't be serious. It's like, all right,
No, I
read the
believed you.
article.
I just had to double check it. You know what I mean? Just to see the
You
stuff.
have to, and you know what? There's more than one article.
Yeah.
Matter of fact, there's another one that if you look it up is even worse. Dude just got charged in Kentucky for smashing a dead deer.
Wow.
Yep. You talk about taking it to another level. It's like, I
But think
mean,
about it, MD. These are the people. These are people that we may have interacted with and not even known. Can you imagine you talk to somebody you thought he was pretty cool, but in the background he's smashing a deer
a
or
dead deer.
a dead deer?
Yeah,
Imagine. Think about the mentality of the person you're dealing with. Then
yeah,
you see
exactly.
what I'm saying?
Yeah. Not that a live deer would make a bigger difference, but yeah, just
Yeah.
it comes down to when he gets caught, the people are like, hey man, I didn't know. Thought he was a nice guy.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it seemed like you might have
Oh
met plenty of
man.
people seem really cool, but you never know what kind of sick stuff they're into. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah, they definitely, yeah, killing chickens and then smashing them. Just
Yeah.
crazy stuff, man. And hypnotism, that's how people get hypnotized. They get brought into this by the social engineering and the
Hmm.
covert. Yeah.
But do you
It's not,
think about the topic of the title of this stream, hypnotized? Do you think it's because, like, on the number stream, I'll just call it the number stream. Honestly, a lot of the followers seem very low IQ. Like they could just be easily influenced, easily taken advantage of. Do you think
yeah.
that's the case? Why they're hypnotized?
Makes it easier, because they're definitely like on the deer smashing level.
Yeah,
Them guys are definitely on the corpse smashing level. I wouldn't put it past them. If they thought that you could smash a corpse and get a gematria pick, they'd probably do it. That
I
would win a
agree.
lot of
I
people.
100%
Yeah.
agree. And I'm not even joking
Yeah.
because based on how they talk, it fits. You know what I mean? They really have no
Oh yeah.
IQ at all.
Oh yeah. If Zach is he's Jim Jones, and if he tells them to smash a corpse, they probably will.
I think so. I really do
Like,
believe
look,
it.
man, you do that, it's like, definitely Jesuits,
He could
everything is Jesuits.
Jesuits in 201. It's like
Oh, 201
you
into
nailed it
the
with your
age.
video. It's
Yeah.
the house, man. It's the nut house. It's
hmm
like, but it follows the trail because, like I said, all the scammers and the con artists, they always go after the poor people. You notice that? The
Yes.
uneducated, the poor, the low IQ, those are their targets. It's never the rich and the wealthy or the educated, because they
hmm
know better. You know what I'm saying?
The sad thing is that the influence hypnotized people like that guy that went and ended himself and then tried to act like they had nothing to do with it. You know, they
Yeah,
only take credit for the any type of win, but when you see these horrible losses and people doing terrible things to themselves, and then they don't want to take responsibility or accountability, you know. And
that's right.
like Topsy was saying, we just holding them accountable, you know.
That's right.
Yeah, it has nothing to do with bias or ego. It's just saying, look, man, you're using a type of covert social engineering and psychological type of manipulation
But
to
you know what?
induce. Mhm.
I think you correct me if I'm wrong, but I think based on your past experience with the dating and everything like that, I think you've also learned that some of these guys you don't even, you can help them, but don't go overboard because these guys will turn on you. These followers, it's just like the guys who followed the dating coach. Remember Dippin and all those guys? It's
Yeah,
just like
Dippin, yeah, he was
you can't
gone.
help some of these people. They are just born to get taken advantage of. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. What we saw what happened with that guy DJ Spurgwood. You
Mm-hmm.
know, he was talking about the orange cube color, and I'm just like, wow, this guy's spurging out, man. And he was cool at first. He
Mm-hmm.
was cool at first, and he just spurged out a few of them actually, a
Yeah.
few of them. Yeah.
You can't
So
help guys like that. They're lost. They're
yeah,
lost.
yeah, he's definitely he done drank the Kool-Aid, so he ain't coming back from that straight heaven's gate. You know,
Yeah.
he's on that. You know, he's on the bed. He's on the
Mm-hmm.
bed at heaven's gate. You know, it just and you know the manipulation techniques they put them in a state of heightened suggestibility, and that's where he comes out with the 201
Mm-hmm.
68 type of stuff. You know, it's like wow. And
But you
it
know
put
why it works? Because guess what? The truth is just not that exciting to most people. It just really isn't. They want the sugar high. They want the rush. They want the, I can give you these numbers and you're going to become a millionaire. That's what people want to hear. They don't want to hear the truth really when it comes to some, not everybody, not everybody, but like we're the difference makers, but we might be in the minority. Most
mhm,
people want to hear the good stuff. They want to
mhm.
hear there's a way to get everything you want. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah, there's some crazy. Yeah, I mean they really push it, man. Damn, that guy was, yeah, he's saying Mexico's going off the handle, man. Just getting some crazy dag, just straight death rituals type of stuff.
And you got to know this stuff. Like if you're planning on like QB Willie traveling to Mexico here and there, thinking nothing's going to happen. You know what I'm saying? It's just
Hmm.
like they always advertise these places as great places to visit, but it's like, wait a minute, I want to know the truth so I can know what to look out for. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
I want the BS. You know?
yeah. A lot of them, you know, they don't care. They're just
Yeah.
crackhead, you know, straight crackhead and traveling looking for something to smash and just they just not thinking with the right head,
A lot
you
of
know.
passport bros got deleted in Colombia, or
Yeah, oh
definitely.
yeah, oh yeah. The definitely stories are out there, man. You
Hmm.
know, they get, you know, that's very similar to the heightened suggestibility state that the numbers guys put their followers into,
Yeah.
their zombies. You know, they give them a trance-like state of compliance they get put in, you know, by
Yeah.
exploiting fear and urgency, you know, trying to be helpful. It's like, oh yeah, I'm helping you. It's like, nah, how? It's like somebody offering you something that they themselves don't do.
Hmm.
Makes you wonder. Really
Well,
makes you wonder.
they I noticed with the dating coaches and with numbers guy, they both had the same the formula.
Yeah.
A lot of guys want to meet beautiful women. There's a commonality, so they give you the system. A lot of guys love watching ball chasers. They worship ball chasers. I'm sure you see in New York, everybody's wearing the Knicks outfits
Oh yeah,
everywhere.
it's crazy. Yeah.
They love ball chasers. So here comes the numbers guy with how to win watching your
Mhm.
ball chasers. Make a lot of money while watching your ball chasers. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
One's
Yep.
beautiful women, one's ball chasers.
Yep.
And they just
Exactly.
give you the secret formula for each.
Yeah. Exactly. It
Mhm.
just they use these techniques. People, you know, can find out about them right now because we will talk about the techniques that they use,
Mhm.
creating that urgent fear. We know that
Right.
planting subtle commands. So they like put in you know, casual conversation like a customer, making you feel, you know, making them feel safe, and uh, the instructing the brain to
Mhm.
comply without being forceful. So they try to, and then he gets kind of angry. See the disagreement because he tries to establish an authority, and scammers establish themselves as experts to make
Yes.
the target want to please them. And that's what we see with his trolls trying to please him
Right.
and other, scammers, other grifters. And yeah, so we see that. Yeah, man,
Because there's a
instruct.
lot of basketball ball chasers out there, so all they do is talk about the game. So here comes Zach,
Yeah,
and I got the secret sauce to figure
yeah,
out who the winner's going to be. They already love the ball chaser, but now he's got the secret sauce. I
yeah,
guarantee if it was just numbers and no ball chasers involved, he probably wouldn't have that much of a following.
yeah,
That
yeah,
sports gematria is really his bread
yeah,
and butter.
yeah. Very, very whack. And he uses the conspiracy to sell it. That's the thing.
Yes.
Because Jesuit, everything's a Jesuit. It's like,
Hmm.
just that, trying to predict stuff, lying. That's the crazy part. Just blatantly lying.
Oh yeah. I mean, the
Yeah,
parallels to the dating coaches are unreal. It's just like
yeah. And,
they,
and the get rich quick coaches. I mean,
yeah.
it's crazy. I'm like, wow, these people are grift city. And I'm
Hmm.
surprised that not more people see it. A lot of people don't care, but they're always trying to establish that authority, and he couldn't do that. You know, he tried the simple request and then the complex demands that they do, trying to get you to agree with them. It's like, no, you're not understanding the whole shadow uh, puzzle, different perspective type of thing. And he tried his little thing, the agreement set principle, where he tries to make statements that force the victim to agree, and that's the Jesuit thing. They
Right.
ask questions, make statement that oh, the Jesuit, do you agree? And if you don't, it just, that's where it kicks off. But he tries to build a pattern of compliance that makes it harder to say no later. That's what's happening to these other guys. They've been doing it for so long, they can't say no now. It makes it very hard now. They've been trained, and we're waking them up, but they're scared of that. They don't want to wake up. The light
No,
is too bright.
that's right. That's
And
100% correct.
yeah, the information overload, the time pressure. The time pressure, that's the date of the game. And
Hmm. I think we got a
keep.
super chat. I think we got a super
Oh,
chat.
all right. Let me check. Jump over. Oh, Mr. X, thank you, brother. MD.
Yeah, I'm just
Thank you.
MD bringing the truth. I
Yeah,
agree with Mr. X.
yeah, yeah, man, definitely. Yeah, you're bringing it too, man. I mean, you were definitely seeing through his illusion. You cut through it quick. I can't believe they were like,
Hmm.
they look at you as a threat because you're speaking the truth.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, my motto is what comes around goes around. So if you can spread the truth to help people, not that everybody's going to listen, but if some people do, great. You know what I mean? If you can
Yeah,
be a voice, and I thank you for having the platform available to do that.
thanks, man.
You're
Thank
the
you for
key
being
reason.
here.
You know what I mean? That's why I love support. I've been supporting you guys for years. I've been supporting you for years.
Yeah,
Uh,
man.
but I appreciate
Somebody
your
left.
that's
They
vital.
they left a comment of when they were saying the stuff about you. They put the
Mhm.
clip in the comments, so we would
Oh,
know.
really?
Yeah, I forgot the name. It was in the regular video. Um, yeah, it was. I was like, wow. So you were living in their head.
They put it in a clip in the comments here?
No, no, not here. It was in the previous video that we did, like
Oh,
on,
okay.
on the
Oh, I'll
video.
check that out.
Yeah,
Definitely
on
check that out.
itself. Space Monkey says, "What are your own thoughts that you formed, and what could be thoughts or ideas put into your head?" I would think that the critical thinking are the thoughts that we form, because we're criticizing. Now we're actually thinking in an imaginative way, like we're
Hmm.
speculating, we're analyzing, we're putting it to the logical and reason test. And ideas they put in your head, we see that with all of the people trying to give you a state of suggestion. So
Yeah.
that yeah, like we were saying before, they try to do a heightened suggestibility
Hmm.
by, before that they'll use psychological techniques, and we see this happening. White Heat Troop, what's up? He says, "Hey
Okay.
Max, remember Coach Red Pill? Yeah, we were told he was killing Ukraine. Yeah, man. Does that equal 201?" Oh man. Yo, White Heat Troop's hilarious, man.
But going on that previous questions, I think the suggestibility for them to influence you, first they got to start out with something you desire. Like the dating coaches, it was beautiful women, and with him, it's the sports. I don't think your suggestive. I don't think the suggestibility is there if they don't present you something that you truly desire. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Because
they
then,
can't.
you
Yeah,
know
they
what I mean?
can't get through. Being that I didn't gamble, their suggestibility couldn't. The Jesuit thing, the 201, just kept bouncing off. I'm like, why do you keep saying that? You know.
Exactly. But if you were a hardcore gambler, I think you would have found some interest. It would have sparked some interest.
Hmm. Yeah, because I was saying, okay, you might be able to use this to predict an event, whatever. And he kind of fell right into that, like, oh, yeah, this and that. But I'm like, you're not really predicting them. You're saying that the numbers line up after the event has already happened. So like they'll look back at the Kennedy thing and they'll say, oh, that's 86, 201, 68. And that relates to this. And that was 111 day after this. And it's just like, none of that is related, man. It's like you're making this up. You're looking with stuff that adds up decades after it happened, right? They were talking about the Dodgers in 88. It's like,
I
wow.
graduated high school. I don't get that.
Yeah.
But I'm an old, I'm a hitting 60. You know what I
They're
mean?
like, yeah, man, the numbers, 201 said the Dodgers were going to win in 88. I'm like, what?
Yeah.
And I'm like, so they're saying that now. People are saying that now, and it's saying, wait a minute. Even if you said that this millennia, this century, basically, it wouldn't matter because it was in 1988.
Yeah.
So you're adding up some numbers saying, oh, look, that date when they won, this adds up, and look, it's there. But that's decades after the fact.
That's right. That's right. It's like, what good is that information? You know what I mean?
So it's sort of like really, it's sort of like finding out something too late or trying to be like, oh, we see the pattern. And that's where I'm like, look, you got to like investigate this so you could see forward.
Mm-hmm.
And they just don't, they don't want to do that. And that's when I was like, wait a minute, this is kind of a grift. If they don't want to do that, then, it's like, well, then where's the science of it?
There is none. There is none.
Right?
And
Yeah.
you can put numbers to fit anything you're
Uh-huh.
trying to push. You know what I mean? It's just,
Yeah. And looking at it afterwards, see, this is the social engineering that's covert. And then those psychological manipulation techniques that puts in the state of induces the state of heightened suggestibility, and that's the numbers. When conspiracy, this, the social engineering, Jesuits, all of that. Oh, and 201, all of these numbers that they use. Mega Mike, Max turn on the news, Fox, 90%.
yeah, we love you,
Oh,
Mega Mike.
Mike, Mike, man, when you were woken up about Trump, you said this stream woke you up about Trump, right? So before you were aware of that, you were pro, your name, MAGA Mike. And then you said you're done with him, some buddies in the military got offed over there, right? So you see he doesn't care. But now, the same way you didn't know about that and you know about it now and you broke that spell is the same spell they're trying to cast on you with this fear. This is basically called white, fear basically.
Mm-hmm.
It's they're trying to push that on you. And look, man, humanity is it's a family. Now I understand, you're seeing that the you got to look at who in the lawmakers is allowing this to happen. So you
Yes.
already see, right? I'm not saying look at it in a racial way. I'm saying look at it in a way of how you're being betrayed by the same guy that looks like you. All of those guys in the White House cabinet are what you would consider your people, right? And they're screwing you over hard. So, and I'm not saying that the 48% or whatever you're saying is your friends, but I'm pretty sure you're going to find people in that 48% that would treat you better than anybody in the presidential cabinet. And the people in the presidential cabinet look like you, but these people don't. So I'm just letting you woke up before, and I think you'll wake up again.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It really Mike woke up. He woke up to he woke up to the fact that Trump was doing things that he said he wouldn't do. And a big one is no new wars, and that's the craziest thing where people you see how the memory, how the, I mean, Sally had left a comment. She changed it about the goldfish. She said, "You guys got the memory." Yeah, I think she said you got the memory of a goldfish. Topsy Kretz told us that the name came from the movie 23, but she changed it. Had to let her know, still got love for Sally. Sally came on here. I was like, wow. I was like, holy smoke, trying to come
People are
on here.
worried about the wrong shit, man. They think this is their country. Guess what? It's not your country, man.
Yeah, yeah,
You know, you ain't running shit. So you
yeah,
better wake up and smell the coffee. This was never
exactly.
meant
Yeah,
to for you. You got the
exactly.
wrong
He,
idea. You
he,
know, you've been lied to.
he don't realize he's on the plantation, and I see it's like, look, if you don't live in that area, I don't know if you do, then I mean, that's the fear thing.
Mm.
Travel there and see what happens. Travel there and see if the threat is really real. That's the only way to know. You have to. I mean, they could tell you something is going on. There might be some kind of skirmishes or whatever, but you have to go to see yourself. It's just like the whole
Mm.
earthquake type of thing. If they want to talk about that, well, let's do a GoFundMe and charter a plane and do these air maps and see, like, okay, does it add up, or is something doesn't add up? But honestly, all of that time and effort could be spent on more important things.
Yeah, and this is the level of stupidity of these, racial. I don't want you to call them, but racial dividers, racial. We'll just call them racist for the heck of it.
Mhm.
We
Yeah,
got annex groups out
yeah,
here. Sheriffs
yeah,
having sex with a
yeah,
dead corpse, and we have all kinds
yeah.
of stuff
Yeah,
going.
and that's what I hope MAGA would see. You got the sheriff. See, this is the thing. If you look up how many women get sexually assaulted every day, the majority of those, what you would say, are women, right?
Hmm.
These are getting assaulted by white cops.
Yeah,
There's other color cops too, but every day, and they're being traumatized. Look up some of these stats, man. I'm not saying that other people of color don't do that too, but you have more of their own kind. Look up the stats. The white women are at most risk by white males. Usually their partners and even their fathers.
that's
Look
right.
at Tebow, the football star. He's on a crusade. He's saying the majority are the fathers, you know. And I understand, uh you have to go and look at the stats on many different avenues, because if you just type something into AI once, it's going to give you a different answer than when you type it in a few times and you ask the question in certain ways. They hide information. I think this is what AI is for too, because if you don't know the right question, it's not going to give you the answer. They're already programming it, and people, as we know, are usually not smart enough to write to know the right question to ask. I mean, look at the amount of followers that Quackery got that actually believe in his grift, and he doesn't gamble. That's the craziest thing. I could even see it looking a little more realistic where why they would be so cracked out on him. But the fact that he doesn't gamble, he's just straight Jim Jones. He's
Yep.
Jim Jones, and man, straight Heaven's Gate. Heaven's Gate, man. People. I'm surprised, but he plants the subtle commands. He did it to Spurgwood. When Spurgwood forced out, it was as if he had got the transmission, and he started, oh, put the thing up on the screen. I was like, wow. I was like, homeboy just went straight zombie, and something was there instructing the brain to comply, and do what the quackery was talking about. He established his authority in the minds of those people. That's how people get hypnotized. The scammers establish themselves as experts, right? And I was even like, look, this guy's an expert at number. He's an expert conner. You know, it's like you think about that, and it's like, wow, man, this guy is really a high level hypnosis.
Hmm.
That's why people get hypnotized by him if they don't know how to protect their mind, or they could be immune like we are because we can smell that BS coming from a mile away.
Right.
And he tried to get us with the agreement type set principle thing where they say, oh, okay, I see this guy is slick. He's like, oh, the Jesuits, the Jesuits. And most people agree for a while. We're just like,
Hmm.
what? It's like, yo, I got to be, we were like, you questioned him first, like before I did, because I was just
Yeah.
quiet. And I noticed he was kept banging on that, like he kept on that, man. I think
You know
we
why
got,
it's a powerful institution, but it's a safe institution
yeah,
to criticize. That's why he did it.
yeah.
He's
We
not
got,
gonna. He's not gonna get demonetized for talking about the Jesuits. Nothing's gonna happen to him. That's
yeah,
it.
yeah. Cut Zone says Stone Quack is absolute quack. DJ
MD,
Stone.
I'll be right back in 20 minutes
Yeah,
again.
yeah, sure. We got lasagna here.
But
What's
see
up,
you,
bro?
lasagna.
What's up, MD? What's up, Mr. X?
All
What's
good.
your thoughts, man? How's everything going?
I'm not gonna lie, it's uh, modern civilization is crashing.
There's no civilization, bro. There's no such thing as civilization. I had did a stream a while ago called "Is it a civilization or a cult of death?" So it's basically a cult of death, and we are in we are in the zoo, like in this
A,
picture.
a cult of slaves.
Well, yeah, slaves that lead to death. The zoo. See this picture here? We did this stream a while ago. It's at first you're in the zoo, you're the exhibit. Then it's the lab because we're constantly being experimented on with the food, the water, the clothing, even made out of certain materials, and the farm. It seems like we're on a farm. Who sees new cemeteries getting built? Nobody. MAGA Mike, the vote does not matter. The votes don't put. See, that's something I think you will wake up to first. Doesn't matter who's voting. The public vote does not. You come on, you got to wake up from that. Even if there were no immigrants here, your public vote is not putting that guy in office. They're putting who they want to be in office. And just like the ones over here, it's horrible, white heat truth. It's horrible. I mean, those guys that are running the country or at the top level, how could they not be responsible for that? They can put the foot down, but magically they don't. Magically they don't. It just yeah, and it just but yeah, man. We were having a little kind of beef with. I mean, well, this guy had beef from he's like a numbers grifter and very similar to the dating roaches, man. Very very similar, man. Yeah. MAGA Mike, America is the only place where immigrants tell other people they're immigrants. Everybody's an immigrant here, man. If you're not on a native reservation, you're an immigrant. If you trace back when your parents, uh, they're not pretending to be like us. They're because you see that they're different. If they pretended to be like us, it'd be cooler because they wouldn't be pushing the culture thing. They would come here and be straight, probably more patriotic, than most. Uh, and vote. Yeah, the vote ain't getting nobody in, bro. The vote is the illusion. Justin Wallen. Man, I already told. I think that's the guy that Alexis brought in the chat. He's a dating roach, right? He's the guy that hangs out with Klavik selling hate. I think. Yeah, yeah, that's the guy. He's always wearing the small suits, the tight suits. Takes the steroids. The typical. And he's got the eyes, man. He's got the deliverance with the skull, with the Skeletor going on. Lasagna, man, what's been going on, man?
No, I'm just letting you spit. I don't want to. I thought
I don't know if you've seen a few of the last stream with that guy that came on and spurred down.
No, I haven't. Can you tell
Yeah,
me a little bit? Can you tell me?
it's from some of the other streams. That's why I named this stream this. But did you see the video I had put up with him? He's like, you've heard of gematria? Have you ever you've heard of numerology or gematria?
Okay, so I've heard of numerology, but dematria, not so
Yeah,
much.
it's
So
kind
the
of
title of the stream is how people get hypnotized, which I would
yeah,
agree with that title.
yes, yes, it definitely conscious rising. Who are you?
Can you hear me?
Conscious rising.
Hi, can you hear me?
Oh, Mary, you're coming in real low.
Oh God, my name shows up. I was trying to figure out how to do this without like my name. I never did. Like,
You
yeah.
gotta I mean, you're extremely low. Let me see if I can fix the volume for you. Yeah, it's very, very low. Do you have like headphones, or are you on speakerphone or not on speakerphone?
I I'm not on speakerphone. I'm on a laptop. I'm on a laptop, and I
You
have
know
a
where the mic is? Maybe if you just go a little closer to the mic.
yeah. I'm pretty much. I'm gonna turn off my little speaker. I mean, I feel like that may be messing with it. Hold on.
You know what might help you turn
Is this
off
better at all?
all.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
much
yeah,
better,
that's
much
way
better.
better.
Is it okay? Um, cool. I can't hear you as well, but that's okay. Is it okay? Like my name, you're not like. I'm trying to do it where I've never like I've always used my regular name, but I kind of like if I'm gonna go online and talk or
Yeah,
whatever, I
no,
feel
I
like I
see it
should.
in the background. I ain't trying to dox you. Don't worry.
Yeah,
Conscious
yeah.
rising. Yeah,
Okay,
yeah, I see it
cool.
in the background. I won't say anything. Yeah.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
only came. Yeah, so thank you. I only came to your stream because somebody had recommended, I guess Zachary, because I used to be into numerology like a long time ago. Like they used to call me the numbers girl and everything, and it's like the gematria thing that was crazy. It's like yeah, all you're doing is just punching numbers all day long, like going insane. Um, but yeah, so but then I think I just hopped on and you were live with him, and that's how I found you, and like your channel is much more interesting, and I can't even believe all the stuff you guys have been going through. But I wanted to ask, like it's not like tonight you're talking about hypnotism. I mean, I could go and talk about that like at college. Like I wonder how many people are under the hypnotism of the guy that goes to like he went to every freshman dorm room at Syracuse University, and every single person, like I mean, I was coming back from classes late, but they had people on the stage hypnotized, eating lemons like they're apples, and being like, this is really good. And they're just doing all this crazy stuff. And not like some people are more suggestible than others, but the ones that are on stage, but it's like, how many people that was like 30 years ago. So how many people are probably still under the control of those people on stage who like put them under, you know what I mean? Like, I'm just like the MK Ultra and the hypnotism is absolutely insane. Um, but you're doing something different tonight about, how people can put other people under hypnotism, right?
Yeah, no, you can talk about what you want to. That sounds like an interesting topic.
Yeah. I mean, Manchurian Candidate was one movie I don't think you guys mentioned. That was like a pretty deep one. I don't know if I ever saw the original, but I saw the one with Liev Schreiber or whatever. And did you see that one?
Yeah, I saw the one. I think does it have Denzel in it?
Yes, yes.
Yeah,
Denzel
yeah,
Washington and Liev Schreiber. Yep.
yeah,
Mm-hmm. Yep.
yeah.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
yeah.
Totally. That one, I guess I'm thinking of Liev Schreiber because I know he's connected to like Jeffrey Epstein and
Yeah.
whatever that lady is, because they were emailing. I saw it in the Epstein files. I was like, ooh, he's gonna get in trouble soon. But yeah, you've been talking. I don't want to I just wanted to ask if all sorts of stuff starts going down in the next year or two or three. I was just hoping that like really smart people like you guys, because I was black pilled for a long time. I mean, as far as like political, it's just like, oh yeah, it's all a fucking circus in a show, and everybody's like two wings of the same bird. They're all owned by the same people, controlled by the same people, blah 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 blah. And I heard about Q back in like 2017, and I was like, I was doubtful, very skeptical, but I'm hopeful because my life is always.
Well, can I ask both of you guys a question?
Yeah.
Have both of you all seen the movie The Minority Report?
Yeah, a long time ago.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
I think Tom Cruise was like the main character. What do you think about like let's say if technology advances so far that that like the government is able to know that you're gonna commit a crime before you do it yourself. Are you okay with that?
No, but I mean, I think there's beings and like there's already consciousness out there that they can read that stuff. Yeah, it's not all right, but they do it. They also do predictive stuff. I mean, they literally like watch everything you do, and they've got computers analyzing, like quantum computers analyzing what your next step is going to be. But
Okay, so I feel like you're a nice person, so I don't want to be extremely rude to you, but I was asking like a very specific question, and I feel like you're kind of
Okay, so it's not okay. I mean, I don't think it's okay, but what about
I'd like to thank MAGA Mike. Thank you, brother. He says immigration is another word for invasion. Justin Wallen. Max, please look into this guy. He drops a real black pill on immigration. Here, I'm looking up the word right now. Immigration is the international movement of people to a destination country of which they are not citizens or natives, right? So, what now? This is very important, MAGA Mike. A country, a destination country of which they are not citizens or natives. Now, no matter what you say, you know the truth is that none of us are natives here. The only one possibly is the mind because he's a Mexican, like native that, you're saying something about his lineage where he knows his connection to the tribal people on the reservations. So the fact that they're on reservations, like you're saying, if Justin Waller, right, what he's saying is, oh, it's invasion. Well, that's because he's talking about what happened to these people. This is how they got on a reservation. So when you're seeing the people come over here, they're not just coming over here, they're being let to come over here. They're allowing them that. The Native Americans had no choice in the allowance of that. They had no navy, as far as they say. Maybe they did. They had canoes, stuff like that. Nothing like the British ships and the Spanish ships and the Portuguese and the Germans and the Italian. I mean, you had an invasion basically over here. But what's happening now? Are they coming over on battleships? No. Now, these are the lawmakers that are doing this. So if anything, you have to take that up with them. And that's what I'm saying. Justin Wallen is just trying to grift. They can't sell the dating grift because you already see what he looks like. He's this guy ain't even into women. These guys are, they're Closet City, man, Fruit City. But thank you for the support, man. I looked into him yesterday, but I will look into him again, man. I will definitely look.
But MD, the thing that you were talking about more, so when I come on to this channel, I'm not obviously like we know each other from like different perspectives, but it's like you're talking about truth. So what you just said right now is so real,
Oh, thanks.
and it like goes beyond like POA type of things.
Oh yeah,
In my opinion.
this is much more important than the dating coaches and exposing
Yeah,
them.
much more important.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. And MAGA Mike woke up. He used to be full MAGA, and now he's sees what Trump is about, and now he's starting to wake up with. You notice that the dating coaches they all fell. Now they're going to the racial grift, and the key why I explain it so in depth is because the communication is important. The more you can communicate with somebody to get your point across. You got to remember to say, okay, how do I say this? Because the person might not let you know. How do I say it in the best possible way for them to comprehend it? I gave a speech once about 10 years ago, and a guy came up to me at the end of the speech that I knew, very smart guy. And he told me, he goes, look, man, he goes, you can't feed a baby steak. And this guy was street smart, like on another level. I think he had just got out from doing like a decade or something like that. And I knew him from way back. And I was like, wow, man. I was like, I hear what you're saying because you're saying that what I said was deep to these people. Like you caught it, lasagna, and because you're above average. Other people,
I
hopefully,
appreciate that.
yeah, man. I'm hoping that I broke it down enough so the other people will get it. Like MAGA Mike is, he's a smart guy. He's waking up more and more. I think soon he's going to see that the vote doesn't, our vote, if we were to vote, doesn't put that person in office. I mean, it just doesn't make sense. It's definitely something that can make people feel good. I think it keeps them from rebelling. It gives them the illusion of control. But yeah, I don't see it.
Another thing, Conscious Rising and also MD, that I want to ask you guys. One thing that I've realized, I'm in like my mid-20s now, damn near close to 30. People just want to feel like in control,
Mm-hmm.
But the problem is that we're all gonna die one day.
Yeah. That's the most important thing to me when I think about it. I mean, I didn't think about it as a kid or as a teenager in the military, and I could have been off any time, but I was just so uncaring. Now, since people that I cared about are all passed into what would be called the next, it's just me. I mean, I have an uncle.
I love that you called it the next, because that's such a good way to put it.
Thanks, man. Yeah,
The
and that's
next.
the most accurate. Yeah, the way I can think of it, like, because everybody's trying to again hypnotize us into believing what they've been taught to believe. Conscious, you have something conscious?
Yeah, I was just gonna say, well, I was a Democrat my entire life, and I'm 54 now, and I didn't vote in the last election. I totally just was like, yeah, it's all bullshit. We just gotta, whatever's gonna happen out there, maybe it's all just a simulation or whatever. Anyway, but I had I'm not like completely psychic. I have some gifts, but a lot of them are blocked. But I do get some like prophetic dreams that, dreams that the ones that you never forget your entire life, certain ones you grow up with and remembering vividly for, whatever, 30, 40, 50 years. And some of them were messages that I ignored or didn't look into and whatever. And then realized like 30 years later, like, wow, that's what that means. So in the last couple of years, I've had a couple of dreams where it's like, really crazy and weird, and I wasn't paying attention. Like I actually, like, I stopped watching television my senior year in high school. I never had my own TV, never had cable in my life. Never, I went to some movies. I mean, I worked in the film industry for a while, but I kind of gave up on, everything. And I've been like anti-medical. Like I barely take Advil, you know what I mean? But like I had a dream, like, well, right before the Diddy trial. I didn't even know the Diddy trials were happening, but I had this dream that like I didn't even know what it was. Like I thought, Satan, the devil, was like the Baphomet or that goat or whatever. I thought that was a symbol, but I had this dream where there was like a bull, and it was like sitting. It was like a statue on this like stage at this little like I grew up in the Hamptons, and it was like this like fancy like I don't know like Hampton classic, like the really rich assholes and like white picket fences and horses and shit. And there was some like art show. But it was like taking place at my house, which, we were just middle class or whatever, local, whatever. And, but like the statue, like, I was like, you know what, let's get out of here to this person that I met. I was like, let's go to the pond, like we had this pond that we kind of grew up nearby. And so let's go to a pond, let's go for a walk and, get out of here. But then like, as we were walking by the stage, there's this like bull on the stage, and it starts rocking back and forth, like really slowly. And I was like, we were like, stopped to look at it. I was like, is that thing moving? And it's like, yeah. And it started rocking back and forth. And then it started getting faster and faster. And then all of a sudden it's like really fast, and it starts coming like it's going to like fall off the stage and like land on us.
Okay. So
anyway,
I don't mean to be rude, but
it cracked open, and it was like that statue is Moloch, Baal, like the who I didn't even know, but Moloch and Baal is like the evil guy that they sacrifice children to. So that thing crashed on the ground. One of my friends from high school.
And this was in the Hamptons?
Yeah, this is like because I grew up there. This took place there, and it's like it was like symbolic on like 20 different levels. But like my friend who popped out of it.
Wait, stop.
No, let her finish.
Please. So my friend who I didn't like.
MD, I love you, and I've known you for such a long time. This person is just trying to learn.
No, let her finish. It's all right. Go ahead, Conscious.
Okay, I'll try to. I get a little bit of stage fright, so I'll try to like not speak as fast as that Zachary guy.
No, it's cool.
I've got the worst traits as far as like Zachary is talking fast, because I get this like urgency and adrenaline, and I can't help it. But I'm gonna try to slow down. But I don't like to take everybody's time up.
No. Talk.
No. You're fine. Keep talking. Lasagna, show some respect to the guest, please.
Yeah, I really like how you talk. Your cadence is really relaxed. I was like, you have no adrenaline maxed out. And I was like, I love that. You're like so chill. I'm like, I really need to learn how to talk like that. But, so anyway, this guy from high school, I was like, why is that guy in my dream? He's like my boyfriend from high school's best friend. But it turns out he went to Ohio State University.
Okay, the reason why I'm talking the way I'm talking is because I know this voice.
No, calm down, Lasagna.
So
go ahead, Conscious. Yeah.
Lasagna.
Yeah.
so the kid who came out of the statue, who like was like coming out of a coma, and I'm like, why was he in the dream? Turns out he went to Ohio State University, and that's where Les Wexner, like creepy
Okay,
Jeffrey.
what is she
And wait,
talking?
you're having this in a
What is she
dream?
talking? Like, she's not like this is what I'm
Jeffrey
Wait,
saying.
Lasagna, hold on a second. You're having this in a dream, you're saying?
This is all these are all different messages about, I didn't even know. I think the Epstein files I thought was over with. Nothing's gonna happen, whatever. This dream where Moloch
Okay.
Baal, who I didn't even know what it was. I had to look it up. It's like the big guy that, you know, I used to be, I mean, I got sick to I got so sick.
You know,
from
I haven't been
children.
on here
The
for a while.
trafficking-
Like,
the trafficking
if
of
if this
children
is what
breaks
it
my
is,
heart,
MD. Although
and
I
it
do
broke my
like you.
soul and my heart is when the
Just let her
children
finish her
suffering.
point.
So this dream was
There's
leading
no
me.
point. This
Leading
this
me.
is a
Yes,
woman that
can you be
is
quiet?
Let her-
Can you be quiet, please? Please. This is very important because you know what?
MD, you gotta shorten the leash. No offense, you
You
gotta
may be
shorten the leash.
black
Right?
pilled, but you know what? There's hope in there if like people like you would just like be quiet and wake up a little bit. Be open to some other ideas. Because I don't listen to my dreams really, but this is a very important one. So it led me back to the fact that, oh my God, evil is going to be destroyed. This Baal Moloch thing fell
the
off
only
the
reason
ceiling,
why you're so
cracked
talking is because of
open,
MD.
Cracked open, and then I start seeing on the news that all these Muslim countries are burning Moloch on the
Okay,
stage.
nobody cares. Just
You
So
don't
let
care,
her,
so why don't
Lasagna, you gotta let her finish, man. And Mega Mike, man, I don't know what to tell you, bro. Voting is not the only way out. You can't vote your way out of tyranny, man. We'll definitely talk
so
about it.
MD, as a person that has like known you for a long time, I'm telling you, this person is like fucking with you.
Do you know this person?
No, I don't. But
And
like,
we can't curse again. Remember, we try to keep within the
okay.
guidelines, man. I mean, let her finish your point, and then we can ask questions about it. You know,
Okay.
if there's any.
So yeah, the only thing is a lot of the things from the dream, I was like, their messages, like both of my parents died a long time ago, 30 years ago. I was raised without religion, but my parents said I could believe in things, if I research it myself. So I've had a couple experiences in my life where I know God is real, but he's not going to fix everything for us. We're here and we're supposed to be doing a lot of stuff here, and I believe Jesus Christ is like, we're supposed to develop in Christ consciousness and become like him, not like worship him or whatever. But the dreams were definitely messages, and it could have been from my dad. I don't know. But anyway, so the Diddy thing happened right after I saw that thing. So I was like, oh shit, maybe stuff is going down. Maybe shit, like maybe there is some justice in this world. Maybe some shit's like gonna happen. Because my dad was a criminal defense attorney. He told me, I go, Dad, if you're so upset with the world, because he was such a really moralistic and wonderful person who like used to do work for barter. He used to work at Legal Aid in Manhattan, and he would do work for free, and he would like accept people.
Just
Lasagna,
stop.
come on.
So my
Go
dad.
ahead, Conscious.
Wait, she's saying the same thing, MD.
It's really for you to interrupt.
You're gonna have to put him backstage, MD. You're gonna have to put him backstage. He's here to disrupt the stream.
It's disrespectful, Lasagna. It's really disrespectful. Go ahead, Conscious.
So I said, Dad, if you're an armchair philosopher, why don't you go out and be a judge or like run for office if you want to change the world? I'm like, you're fucking you're miserable, and you're never going to be happy with anyone or anything unless you go do something or whatever, help yourself and go change the world. If it's so, whatever. He was black pilled, and then he goes, well, everything's owned by the corporations. Like everybody's bought and sold. Like he told me these things. He told me about sex trafficking of children when I was 13. And it was a little bit too much. We were in the Dominican Republic, and he says, lucky you kids are. He's like, there's boys being rented by 40-year-old men from Germany. You guys are lucky. And I was like, what? Like I was told about this stuff a long time ago. Like, I mean, I knew 9/11 was an inside job within the first 2 months. But either way, the thing is, these dreams, I said, okay, maybe shit's going down. Then like a year later, I get this dream, and I was repeating this word over and over and over in my head. And I'm like, what the hell am I saying? And I like wrote it down. I phonetically wrote it out. And it said fan, like F-A-N, and then it said Q, and then it said Belia. I'm like, what the hell is that? And I just wrote it down. I didn't see it. I didn't look at it. I wasn't even following my journal. I wasn't writing any dreams down for months and months and months. And then like I go back to, and I see this like notebook sitting there, and I look at this word. I'm like, oh yeah, there was that word that I came out of my dream, and I was kept saying over. And then I looked at, and I was like, what the hell could this mean? And then I was like, oh, maybe it has to do with that Q shit, right? And I was like, excuse me for cursing. And then after that, then the next day I go to this dentist appointment, and I'm behind this white van, and it has that all that like stuff that I
Okay,
thought was
so
really
MD,
retarded.
please tell me.
And it was like
that
WW1, where we go one, we go all.
you don't
like, okay,
like.
I
Are you
still
still?
believe it.
Calm down, Lasagna. You're here to disrupt the stream. All right. Thank you, MD. Thank you. I apologize for that, Conscious. Sorry, you're free to talk now. Thank you.
So this was just like 8 months ago, October. This is in October, where I saw this car in front of me, and I was like, still didn't really take it seriously because I was just kind of putting it together the day or two before. I see this note next to my, in the notebook, and then I was like, wow, maybe this is a sign. And then I just like, this one friend, I've been like, are you serious? You really believe in this shit? I'm like, I'm sorry for cursing again. I'm like, my friend is like so into it, and I was thinking she's so mind controlled and brainwashed, just the way you guys think I am right now, is just kind of funny. And I just feel like, come on, Ruth, you can't really believe that. Like, there's like, Trump is an asshole. I was just like going off of whatever, and I was like, you can't believe it. I'm like, he was urging people to take vaccines. He was doing warp speed. He was doing this. He was doing that.
We got to stay within the guideline with the
so
whole
anyway, I was gonna
vaccine
say,
thing.
if stuff goes down, I just want to know people like you, brilliant people like you, thinkers, you think deeply. I know that you've made your decisions. You've thought about this probably a lot, and you've seen a lot of stuff. I mean, I don't know what you watch or what you listen to, or whatever, but I just want to know if stuff starts going down, like if the Federal Reserve is really taken out and the U.S. Treasury is going to be installed as the place where we borrow money from, and we don't pay interest to foreign world banks. Would you consider that a good sign? And if if the IRS is abolished, would you think that is a good sign that things are maybe changing? Because I know the stuff on the stage that they're doing in front of people, like Trump is literally looking like the biggest asshole to everybody, and I understand why everyone hates him. But they're doing it as an act because they're supposedly, like, in order to trick the enemy, they have to do all this crazy shit on stage just to like throw them off course. So I'm just saying, if really weird stuff goes down, are you willing to be open that maybe the Q thing maybe isn't a fraud?
All right, wait. So what you're saying is you're saying that Trump and them are actually good, and they're trying to do something good for us.
But there's a lot of details.
If I boil it down,
you don't have time to hear it, but yes, you don't have
we
time
just
to hear
boil it down, right? Is that what we get when we boil it down?
If you had the time to listen to all.
All right, no, this is what I'm just. And now let's look at it realistically, right? Remember and this goes perfect with the name of the stream: how people get hypnotized. So, how people get hypnotized. Now, if you were in a state of hypnosis, it would be kind of hard to see that you were in a state of hypnosis. When you're not speaking, just mute because there's a background.
Yeah. Sorry. Oh shoot. All right, I'll be right there. I lost the screen.
Yeah, I could mute it. Yeah, and just unmute it when you're ready.
Okay.
Okay, so MD, can I tell you something real quick?
All right, go ahead.
It's a different paradigm. Like, I've known you in my early 20s.
Have you been drinking?
No, I'm like MD. I'm about to be like 28.
No, I'm just asking the question because I want to answer what she was talking about. She stated her point very well. It took a while, but you see, it was fruitful because we let her speak. It would have been quicker if you didn't interrupt her. So now that she stated her point, which I see as basically what the title is, how people get hypnotized. So she is.
So why aren't you asking?
Now you're interrupting me. You see what I'm saying? So either you're drinking or something, but I'm not going to put up with that, man. I don't have to be mean to you, just firm. It's to let you know. Come on, man. How are we supposed to make productive?
Okay, so wait. When can I ask the question?
Not right now. You got to wait until we're finished making our points. The fact that people in the chat can see it. If you're under the influence, fine. But you got to remember, you got to, I don't even want to waste time on this because it's as if you're causing the distraction. So what she was saying, it's as if you didn't hear what she said. She's
Okay,
literally
so
saying,
MD,
no,
you've
hold on
known
a
me
second.
for
Hold on a second. She's literally saying that Trump and these guys are behind the scenes and they're like some type of superhero forces of good, some Justice League or something. And all of the criminal stuff, the PDF file stuff, the 3 baby mamas, you know, because anybody else that's got 3 baby mamas, they're going to look at them as different. Trump's got 3 baby mamas, and Elon Musk probably got a little more. So we're not
he has
looking,
like 12.
well, we're not looking at the best example of men, of especially responsibility. So her, and people are in this thinking that, okay, the QAnon thing and all of that stuff. Now, okay, fine. Politicians, all of them. When has any politician ever done anything to really benefit the people? We don't see that. Trump has, look at what happened with the tariffs. Look at what happened with all of the contracts, the pool. So now Conscious Rising is thinking, well, there's something behind the scenes, and these guys are saying that they're going to do something good, right?
Mhm.
I don't see that to be the reality of it. I see that it's a form of hypnosis, how people get hypnotized. And she, in one way or another, something happened and she fell into that belief system. So, because it is a belief, we don't know for sure, right? So, if we're saying, okay, with all the other evidence we have, right, then
MD, it's an indoctrination.
well, that's what it goes in line with the title of the stream, how people get hypnotized. So we'll ask and see how Conscious Rising, what brought you to this conclusion? Like what made you believe that Trump and them and his crew might be bad?
Lackeys.
Yeah.
I actually still have my doubts. Are you asking me that question now?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So you still have the
I'm
doubt.
not.
Okay. So that means you're still critically thinking. If
Yeah,
you
yeah,
still have
yeah.
the doubt.
I keep like I get like, now that my brain is working better because I got sick for a while and my brain wasn't working, but now I'm like much better. I don't want to dox myself, but I kind of mentioned what I was healing with, but in the past, but like so I'm still I keep like 3 scenarios going at once. Like if this happens, keep this in mind. Everything I hear, I take it with a grain of salt. But when I'm into patterns and stuff, and if I see a lot of stuff heading in a direction, then I put that in my, I've got a lot like my, I can hold a lot in my brain. So I'm still open. Like, I mean, but I'm just saying if more and more things stack up, like the Hopi, you were talking about the Native Americans, I just looked it up again. You can look it up at the office of, the 45,000 acres from Arizona are given back to the Hopi tribe. That was June 12th. And I think they're trying to get 270,000 acres of land given back to them. So there's like a lot of like eventually what they're saying, I mean, I think the whole thing is like they're trying to like maybe not make it completely anarchy, but like get rid of government altogether. That's what allegedly I've heard the plan is for like once they break the world banks, once they like cut them all off, the city of London and all the stuff, that's when everyone can break free from the financial debt that everyone's been, since the Roman times. It's like, you guys heard of the age of Aquarius and the golden age and all this stuff. And like, whatever, like new ages in Indian, whatever, like the Kali, whatever, the yugas and stuff. Like this is a time where it's like, there's a lot of things that coincide with, it would make sense that all government, all the World Bank
Now,
is destroyed.
All of those things that they're saying coincide, right? That's what I'm saying we need to question, because that's creating what the hypnosis was talking about, the method of hypnosis, where they put people in a focused attention. So they're focusing their attention on this, and it can create a kind of relaxation because they feel some relief. And a trained professional, right? Trained professional. These if a card trick guy can trick you with cards, right? What do you think a government can do? So we know that David Blaine and these guys can do card tricks, and we can't figure out how they're done. And we know they're tricks. It's not just some magic, but could be, but they admit that it's not. And people,
and MD, that's a good question. That's the question. Don't be look. I'm not trying to be a dick when I say this.
and other people can do so David Blaine can fool us with a card trick, but the government, right? So now David Blaine, we know he can, right? So the government, there's people that are, I mean, so much higher in manipulation. You can be manipulated until the day you die. Like, let's look back at people that passed in the last 10 years. Did the government get better? Say they passed at 90 years old, right? So you're looking at all the way back to, say, the 20s. And the government never got better. It only got more constricting, like a boa constrictor. So now, with them saying the Hindus and stuff like this, oh, the age of Kali and all of that, and it lines up. This is, again, a belief. It's like my first question in free thinking is to ask them, like, as Varun, he's on that. He will come here and he'll start, oh, this and that, and he'll tell us the whole breakdown. Why should I believe that? I'm a writer. I wrote books. I wrote nonfiction books, but people write fiction books, and fiction aren't true. So why wouldn't people lie? This is the thing when we look, right? Get conscious. Yeah.
Oh no, yeah, I agree with you, and yeah, I mean, I've only listened to like a few of your, like maybe 4 or 5 of your streams this past week, which it was hard getting through those Zachary ones, but I love, you're the only person that ever said, like, when I found out that people were acting on TV, like, I cried because I couldn't believe like people were lying and stuff, and I got real upset. But like, yeah, I mean, I know that there's a lot of lying out there, so that's why I'm very skeptical. I'm like, wow, I could really be, you know what I mean? But like, I'm just saying, if the stuff starts really changing, are you guys willing to potentially like look outside of maybe your perspective and see a different, shape, like step to a different like angle and possibly look at it, shining the light on a different angle of the objects in front of us? Like, you know what I mean? Like if the IRS does get abolished and the Federal Reserve is taken out, and we are working on a U.S. Treasury backed by gold and silver, would you guys consider thinking? Because I mean, like, Trump was a career businessman, not a politician. All that stuff with the women's sex,
but
I
he
understand.
was a businessman. Okay, he was a businessman that failed.
Yeah.
Well, but that's like the new. I mean, I don't know. See, that's the stuff. Yeah.
All right. So this is something you got to look into. You got to look into.
Who are you trusting? The mainstream media is owned by the Satanists that run the world, the organized crime syndicates.
This is the thing. If you look up files, like when his jet got repossessed at JFK Airport over here in Queens. Right. So in Queens, you're on what, Long Island, Hamptons?
No, I grew up there. My dad's from Queens.
Okay. So I was born in Brooklyn. So I'm right here next to JFK. Or also LaGuardia Airport is a little more east, I think, of JFK. So when we look at that, we say, okay, I think twice 2 of his airplanes got repossessed on the runway.
Yeah, Taj Mahal too went out of business.
Exactly. So we can look these things up and have financial records of that. So it's not a media blitz. Now the media couldn't lie and say, well, the repossession was unjustified or something, but it happened. They repossessed. I mean, you know how much of a scum you got to be to have an airplane repossessed? 2 of them, matter of fact.
Yeah. Can I ask Concha the question? Because I feel like you think
bankruptcy twice, right, or more.
But you feel like Trump is going against the system, like Trump is the savior against this evil cabal?
Not in the front, not in the mainstream news, he's not. But supposedly Nixon asked him to, like after JFK died, like JFK Jr. and him were allegedly friends. And if you looked at George Magazine was JFK Jr.'s magazine for like 5 or 7 years before he died. There's a lot of information in there. Like you talked about Bill Gates. Bill Gates was like saying, I'm a philanthropist and my main focus is population control. I mean, supposedly the White Hats, this cute thing, they're the ones that blew up the Georgia Guidestones. I was excited at first I was like, oh, the Georgia Guidestones got blown up, but it turns out they got blown up because we're not having that, because that's like, because I don't think, you can call Jesuits all you want, but it's basically like Satanists or like people that work with like darkness, you know what I mean? Whatever. You can't, like, whatever he wants to, he's a total grifter. But I'm just saying, can we just be open instead of like closing the book or the door on everything?
No, I hear what you're saying. What I'm saying is, okay, I understand where you're at. I would say, okay, what's the percentage of that honestly happening? Because I just don't trust them. Like if somebody has lied and cheated and steal over and over, why would I trust them now? And there's many instances of people that have done. There's a guy that owned a piano business in Manhattan, and he made a grand piano for Trump. They ordered it and they ripped him off. I think they owed him like over 112 grand. He went bankrupt because of that. And they had a commercial with him when Trump was running the first time. Now, the reason that they stopped having negative commercials for politicians, because they would attack each other back in the days with, I remember Dukakis and Mondale and all these guys, and, talking about they beat their wife and all of that. And they had to say, okay, no more negative ads. And the reason they said no more negative ads is because you would see that both politicians running for position are crooks. They're scum. Both of them are involved because they'll say, well, this guy did this. Don't vote for him. The other guy will say, well, this guy cheated on this. So you got two people that are cheats, liars, and thieves that get into office. And then just like Zach has all these followers. Now, Zach's followers are just nutcase city, right? So they're right out of the asylum wearing a straitjacket. And so is he. Now, these people are so nutcase. Imagine how much more nutcase the president's followers are. We saw what they did during January 6th. Now, the people he pardoned, now this is a fact. This is not just media. There's a few people that he pardoned that are in jail doing life and doing time for child crimes. Child crimes and also crimes against women, sexual crimes against women. So the fact that he's in leagues with that tells you a lot.
Can you tell me who those people are? Because I want to definitely look that up because I know there's a big sign.
Okay. All you have to do, are you on the computer or are you just on the phone?
I'm on the computer. I'm gonna
Okay. So type in January Sixers who are in prison for child crimes. I think Jack something is his name. Jackson was one of them. Toronto Dump has made more money than yeah, exactly. He's done over 3,000, almost 4,000 stock deals. So it's really.
Oh, he's been making a ton off the straight of Hermuse deal on the market. Tons of money.
So brutal, man. It is so brutal. But
I mean, allegedly. I mean, I'm not saying it's true. I'm not saying.
No. Have you looked it up? No, because you're gonna find a lot of dirt on that when you look up.
So January 6th. So there's child predators or whatever that he pardoned, because I mean I don't think he was able to pardon anybody else.
January Sixers who are in jail for child crimes right now. Type that in.
Child crimes right now. Okay.
And see what you get. Lasagna, did you have something?
No, you're good, MD.
You sure? Say what you want now, man.
No. I fuck with whatever you guys are saying right now. I support that.
Yeah, now's the time to say your piece. Just don't say what somebody else is talking.
Man. Yeah, now's the time, bro.
I agree with you. What you're saying.
Well, this is the way we have conversations. And Conscious Mike, like MAGA Mike, I don't know if he left, but I hope he realizes voting is not gonna vote, fix anything. And maybe Conscious Rising is gonna see after she checks these stats, like, wow, this guy ain't as clean as they're trying to make him out to be. Actually, I don't think any president has been. So the more you look, the deeper the rabbit hole goes.
I'm about to look this up. I just wanted to say one thing to comment on what you said before. Oh shit. Sorry. I forgot what it was right now. Let's see. All right, January 6th, President Trump's sweeping pardons did not expunge other severe criminal charges, with at least 14 pardoned individuals. So did he try to pardon everybody that got put in jail?
He pardoned everybody. So but now look at the people. Look at the people. Those 14 people that he pardoned. These are people that are horrible criminals.
But he probably didn't look into all those cases, right?
No. Wait, look. Now that's called not taking responsibility.
No. I'm just saying it's possible though.
No. It doesn't matter if it's possible. If you do that, now you're a criminal. You're aiding and abetting. That's the law. Believe me, I know the law.
But he wasn't pardoning from those other crimes. It says only for that.
He pardoned them. When you have somebody, when you think about this, that you know what he would have been charged with? Trump would have been charged with inciting to riot.
But it says right here, the AI interview overview says President Trump's sweeping pardons for January 6 rioters did not expunge other severe criminal charges. That's what it says.
But it got them out of jail. It got them.
But they weren't in jail. They were already dealing with their like parole or whatever, right? He didn't know. Like I don't think anyone looked. I mean, to me, it would seem like.
All right, look at, you know what they call this right now? What you're doing? It's called rationalizing.
Are you sure that's not what you're doing?
No, I'm not. Well, I'm presenting facts.
Well,
and you're
I'm
rationalizing.
I mean, I'm on Google.
Hold on a second. I'm presenting the facts of these guys that got pardoned.
Okay.
Now, what you're doing, you're rationalizing by saying, well, they weren't, they got out, but they were pending crimes. And you're rationalizing.
No, but this is just how the law works. I'm saying the law.
No. The law does not work that way. If the law worked that way, they wouldn't have been pardoned.
He wasn't. But
he had to pardon them because the law.
Well, the facts are here. AI overview says, I don't even use AI. I don't use Google, but this is what it says here in Google AI. It did not expunge the other criminal charges. It
did not, but it expunged them of the crime of breaking in and beating up police officers. That is a crime.
Okay, well, do you believe in PSYOPs, psychological operations that are put there by,
so now
by the
remember
Open
what we
Society?
said about remember what we said about rationalization? When you said PSYOPs, you're rationalizing again.
Right, but using like that's a cop out to always say rationalizing because I'm
it's not a cop out because
I'm bringing facts to you also.
What are the facts that you're bringing?
You can call it rationalization, but the facts is that the insurrection, supposedly that whole thing with like the rioting and the cops and everything, that was all a psychological operation. I mean, there's documentaries on it. Like, I mean, the verdict's not out, but from what the families,
so it's not out.
It's not out, but you're saying for sure, like this is what happened. But the thing is, there's been so much psychological operations.
Isn't there court documents on what I'm saying about people that got incarcerated and
there's a lot. No, there's a lot of
So that is not a speculation. That is not.
There's a lot of speculation about what happened in January 6th. A lot. There's a lot.
So the fact that they're pending crimes against children, is that a speculation?
So you pay
attention.
No.
I'm asking you a yes or no question.
The question again.
The fact that they're facing charges for child crimes, is that a speculation?
No.
Okay, so you can't say it's speculation, and
I wasn't saying that.
Now, hold on. The way you're talking, real quick, that's the hypnosis thing.
I wasn't saying that wasn't true.
No. And this is perfect. This is perfect, conscious. No. Think about this. What they do is, right? They use covert social engineering, right? Quick talking techniques to induce a state of heightened suggestibility. What you're trying to do is make me impressionable. You're suggesting subliminally a heightened state. You're doing it very well because you're talking very quickly, and that's how it's provided. It's called the agreement set principle. I said it at the beginning of the stream so people would know how to defend against this, and you use it very well because you're asking questions, making statements that force the victim to agree. But I'm not allowing you to make me the victim.
I'm not trying to. I'm sorry.
No. And this is in your benefit. You don't even know you're doing it. I honestly think you're a good, genuine person. That's why I told Lasagna to chill, because I really do feel that you're a cool person. Right now, the thing is that, and this is for people to learn, you don't even know that you're doing that. But I think you're smart enough. You might not get it right now, but I think you're smart enough, if you review this stream or you think about it deeply now, to realize what you're doing. It's sort of like when somebody is hurting somebody else and they say, man, I never knew I was hurting you. Somebody that loves somebody. Now, you should know about this, right? Because you've been in loving relationships. I've been in loving relationships. And I've known when somebody was in love with me and I didn't know that how deeply they were in love. And I left and I realized, like, wow, that person really loved me. And there are other times where it happens in reverse, where I love them and maybe they didn't realize how harsh they are to me. And that's the only time you really see it. And then you say, well, wait a minute, if I'm going to grow now, I say, well, I was kind of nonchalant or even cold towards some of the people I was with after it got to a point when, you know, you figure, okay, it's over. So thinking in this way allows us to grow and become much more intelligent, much smarter. It increases our mind power. And
Right.
this allows us to escape in some part the matrix, because we're never going to fully get out. Like I told Mr. X, we're not going to figure this thing out. And we're living life in, think of how crazy we're living life. We're living as if we're going to get out alive. The only guarantee, right, is death. So we might as well look into that. And that's where Lasagna, you know, he got pretty deep where, yeah, the next. You know,
Can I tell you one thing? Can I respond to something you said?
Sure.
Well, that what you just said. My mom was a flight attendant. You know, she passed away in 2004. But she was a flight attendant for American Airlines, and we used to cry when she had to go to work because we were little and she went back to work, and we would cry and be like, well, what would happen if you died? And we would be like all over her. And she's like, she told me the same thing. The only thing we know in life for sure, the only thing that is for certain is that we all die. So I've kind of had that with me for a long time, but, you know, so I've kind of, you know, whatever, but like, yeah, so it's not too, like, death isn't too upsetting for me, but to respond, like, I'm a middle child too. I think I believe that, you know, it's a form of, you know, trying to convince somebody else of like what you know, you want to be heard, you want to be understood. So sometimes I interject rudely, and I'm sorry.
That's
I didn't
fine.
want to
We
be
have a lot more in
misunderstood.
common. We have a lot in common because my father worked for American Airlines, and
No way.
he passed, you know, maybe 10 years ago, and my mother as well. And you know, it's like you, and then also were you born in the Hamptons on Long Island?
No, I was born in Manhattan, where my parents met in Manhattan, where my
Wow,
dad
look
was
at
working
that. And I was
for
born in
legally.
Brooklyn, you know, so you were born in Manhattan, I was born in Brooklyn, which both of them are considered New York City, all of the boroughs, but you were really
Yeah.
born in New York City, the way I look at it. You know, Manhattan is the city. And that's great. But look at the commonality. Your mother works for an American Airlines, my father worked for American Airlines. You're into consciousness and learning and awakening and breaking the hypnosis, and you're a smart person. So
And raw organic vegan food, and you know, but I dabbled in meat a little bit over the last 27 years, but
I think that's great. I mean, you're really yeah, you're really doing it for yourself. You're really, and you sound healthy. You sound, you know, like you got a lot of energy, very vigorous, you know. That's good. I
but I
mean,
do have I have an adrenaline problem, and you know, I know a little bit more about it now. But you know, that's another conversation. But yeah, I don't. Okay, there's like so many things. I'm like, I'll have to, like, I haven't been working, so I'm going, you know, I might have to apply for bankruptcy at some point, but like, I want to contribute to your channel, you know, especially if I'm taking up time and spending comments and stuff. But I want to say there was something. So just one time, can we like talk about one night, like the fact, the whole protein myth, like everybody's like protein, where are you getting your protein? And if you actually think about breast milk, mother's milk is only, it's like sugar water. It's 97 and 99% sugar water with the tiniest amount of fat and protein. And that's what babies grow on from, like, you know, whatever, 0 to 3 or 4. And like everything is built on sugar water. And we've been brainwashed and hypnotized by this whole protein myth that started in the 50s. So that'd be like another night, but could we potentially discuss that sometime in the future? Because I feel like people are definitely being brought down the wrong path. You know, the whole MAGA movement, that's all bullshit with their health. They don't know shit about health. That's where I thought I was going to come in later on, in case it all happens and things go right, and, you know, the whole government gets destroyed and the World Bank gets destroyed. This is what I'm hoping. I believe in potential timelines happening in the future. I don't believe anything for sure, but like, I believe this is, I stretch my brain. Like, there's a lot. I mean, you know, John Trump, supposedly allegedly Trump's uncle, John Trump, he was working with Tesla. He worked at MIT, and they were working on, like, you know, time travel and shit. So, I mean, I don't know. And the thing is, the whole Q drops didn't make a lot of sense to me back in 2017, 18, 19, when I paid attention. Now, when I look at them now and people are explaining more now what it is, they were talking in code. I didn't understand any of it. They were talking like all this code language that means about stuff happening now, 6 and 8 years later. It's
Well,
9
who are
years
these
later.
people? Is this going back to Trump as a good guy or something?
The people are the people that are like these people that have been following Q for 9 years, but I gave up on it like 6 years ago. Like I was just like, that's all bullshit. But just because of my dreams, I kind of just like checking it out again, and I was just like, whoa, there might be something to this. I'm not saying it's true, but I'm just saying let's keep our
No,
eyes
dreams
on
are very prophetic. I did a stream, I think about a month ago, about dreams. Can dreams interpret the future? And it was a deep stream. I was in a relationship in 2004 with a girl from Hungary, and when we broke up in the summer, I kept having these dreams. And I found a lady. She was on Long Island from like Wading River, I think, and it was out there like on the about 2 hours from the city. And she was the only one that interpreted dreams. And she started to teach me about it. And I learned. And, she was like, hey, how do you feel about horses? I said, well, I ain't trying to buy one. But she goes, no. Do you like them? Do you dislike them? Are you afraid of them? I said, no, I'm not afraid of them. I'm not, I don't hate them. I said, they're pretty animals, but, I'm not afraid of them. She goes, so if you read a book, a dream interpretation book that talks about horses and the author favors horses, you're going to get a biased opinion for his interpretation. If you have a dream of a horse, you have to make your own dream dictionary. So what it means to me needs to be written down, and then that can be taken in conjunction with stuff from dream interpretation books or people that look into that, because dreams are extremely important. Dreams are real. They can be prophetic. They can be healing. There's actually a really good book called Healing Dreams. Mark Barash wrote it, and he talks about how we can have dreams for each other, dreams for us, and then somebody else can have dreams. Like I can have a dream for somebody else. They can have a dream for me. We can dream together. Now that's something, if we reached that type of level, people would probably look forward to sleeping. Imagine if we could dream and share the same dream. That would be amazing. I'll see you in my dreams. It just sounds beautiful.
Totally. I believe that's possible. I mean, I feel like there's a lot of realities going on in dreams. I've had a lot of crazy dreams. Some of them I feel like there could be some military, like I don't know about them, like the MK, like I don't think I'm MK Ultra, but I do feel like I could have been tinkered with a little bit, because my parents are not alive for me to ask them, but I remember my mom and dad would alternate taking me to Brookhaven Hospital when I was like between the age of like 4 and 9 probably, and I have no idea why I went there. I don't remember what happened at the hospital, but my parents were not military, so it's a military hospital. And like I don't know if like they were offering me up to like experiments, like if I was like gifted in some way, and they were like, oh, like maybe I was talking about like things I was seeing or something, you know what I mean? I don't know. But like I asked my aunt, I asked my mom's best friend, I asked the nurse that lived down the street. I'm like, do you know why what was I sick with? I tried getting in touch with my pediatrician that lives in Florida now, who's like losing his
You said
marbles.
you have siblings, right?
Yeah, they don't
Do
know
they
why. They're only a year older than me and a year younger. And the thing is, I remember I was like, why am I by myself? Because we were born like all Irish twins, like all within 13 and 18 months of each other. So like we did everything together. So I was remembering like, why aren't they with me? You know what I mean? Like why is mom and dad taking me up the island? And why like, and I actually noticed that my dad looked like nervous or a little bit scared. And I never, like, he was never like that ever. Like the rest of my life, I don't remember any time when my dad would be like looking worried or like really, you know what I mean? And so I don't know, but I feel like I've had a lot of dreams where, I mean, they like when I was living in LA, I had a hologram of George Bush Jr.'s face in my apartment, like as I was like laying on my couch looking like towards the ceiling. I may have had like a one hitter of weed or whatever, and I'm just like relaxing after work, and I see this like face. And it's really trippy though, because there's a Tool, that band Tool, or maybe it's his other band called Perfect Circle or whatever. But there's this song and I think it's like by the beat of the drums or something. And like in the video, it almost like it's like a cartoon, and it's George Bush Jr.'s head, two of them floating with like this like staticky TV in the back, and there's like burning sheep, like cartoons of burning sheep, talking about like, you know, men being sent to war and like killing them off like sheep. It was like really, it was weird though, because I was like, this is like has to do with like, I feel like they were messing with me. I don't think it has to do with like me. I don't think I have a chip in my head, just because they were using like blue beam technology trying to freak me out in my apartment, because I had all sorts of crazy shit happen to me in LA working for like, you know, in Hollywood, working for people that could be MK Ultra, like, you know what I mean? Like I had like organized harassment and targeting, people just like psychologically trying to like break you down and like see how you react, like crazy stuff. Like I had to leave LA because of that. Both of my parents died. And then like I started to realize that they were messing with me, and I just like, and you know, I started to experiment a little bit with some, you know, intoxicants that I, you know, had never really touched before. And so that was like the perfect way. Like if I, you know, I was very open about it too. They're like, oh, you're just being paranoid because of that. And I'm like, no, you know what I mean? Whatever. But I had to leave. And, but you know, the targeting happened again. Targeting started happening again when I started speaking out for the first time on social media in 2017, when I learned about the satanic ritual abuse of children and the child trafficking. I was like, you know what? I can't be quiet. I've been hiding for like 10, 15 years after that harassment, and now I can't be quiet. And then it started, and they made it really obvious. Like, you know, cars would just come up and like they'd be on the side of the road and like pull up 15 yards in front of me, like wherever I was pulling out. Like it was just, it's very nerve-wracking because they just want to make you know that they're there, and like it just puts you on edge all the time. And that's how I actually fell ill in 2017. So anyway,
Can I ask Conscious a quick question about that?
Yeah.
You said satanic ritual abuse. Do you think that goes along a lot in areas like the Hamptons, where there's a, you know, high wealth?
I'm sure it does. I mean, I haven't lived there. I mean, I did. I mean, I grew up there, and then I actually did go back after I came back from LA. I did live there at my sister's for a while. I definitely do think probably just like, because you know, it's like a playground for the rich and the biggest assholes in the world. You know what I mean? Like, I mean, Marina Abramovich, the biggest witch of like, you know, Lady Gaga and Jay-Z and all those.
That lady.
They're all out there in the Hamptons at those events doing art shows and having cadavers in bathtubs of quote unquote blood, and they're like eating it.
Yeah.
I mean, it's disgusting. Like these, like, I mean, those people, that's how I got sick, because I had so much adrenaline and fear running through my veins and my body that my immune system kind of shut down and broke down. And like, I've been healing ever since, but like now I'm like stronger and I'm getting ready to get back in the fight. But anyway. So I'm keeping my mind open, and I'm being hopeful though, because I do believe that the light, you know, the darkness can't exist when the light gets turned on. Darkness just, you know, gets erased. Yeah. So we just got to turn on all our lights and our heart lights. I'm just kidding. Okay.
Yeah, I hear you. Josiah, who are you?
Yes, sir. Hello?
Yeah, I think you got some background noise. I'm not sure.
Okay, sorry. Give me like 5 seconds. Let me
You
put
have
on
anything to say?
Yeah, so I noticed your stream about hypnosis and things like that. And I wasn't sure whether you were talking about things of like willingness of suspension of disbelief. I'm pretty late to the stream. So I don't know, what did I miss?
Oh yeah, we were going into like, you know, the techniques that scammers and con artists use. They use covert social engineering, psychological manipulation techniques, and these induce a state of heightened suggestibility. So if I can like bombard you with stuff, you know, it could create a state of heightened suggestibility, induce a trance-like compliance. And we see this with the followers of a lot of people that fall prey to certain like get rich quick guys and stuff like that. Gambling, other things. So some of the techniques used in hypnotic scams, you create an urgent fear. Oh, this is going to happen. That's going to happen. You know, scammers immediately create a high stakes scenario. The world is going to do this. The world's going to do that. Your account is compromised. You're under investigation. So these panic scenarios, it lowers your critical thinking, because you're just going to make a choice. You're just going to choose. Okay, I'll believe it or I'll not. So you're not really considering the information. So Now you see how they plant subtle commands, they embed commands.
Yeah,
You
embedded
know,
commands.
yeah, we have that. You know, make somebody feel safe or something, and it instructs the brain to comply without appearing forceful because you made them feel safe, you made them feel comfortable, you agreed with them, because that's another way of making somebody feel comfortable is you agree. And
Hmm.
most people will be immediately disarmed if you're political or religious. Oh yeah, really? Me too, you know? And it kind of disarms them. So that is
Common
planted.
ground.
Yeah. Establishing authority. We see this with a lot of scammers. They want to be the expert. You know, they want to make the other people please them to where they, and we see this with the followers by pleasing them, by believing them, listening to what they're saying, doing what they want to do, giving them money, stuff like that. So that's another way people can create a a state of heightened suggestibility. And once that state is created, a form of hypnosis can be established. The
Mm.
agreement, like I was saying, when you agree with people, you know, make statements that force the victim to agree. You try to bombard them, and you know, yes, yes, yes. You know, building a pattern of
Hmm.
compliance. So now they're getting used to complying. They're saying, "Hey, you know what? I'm used to saying yes, yes, yes." You know, and thanks, Cutstone. I appreciate that, brother. Um, yeah, so you have that. Then the information overload and time pressure. So you keep the victim on the phone. You keep your force action. You know, and this is what these guys do. Hey, schedule a phone call, whatever. Do this. Join my Patreon. All of that stuff. Now,
Yeah.
it prevents the brain from fully processing the absurdity of the request. You know, because if you think about it, you're like, wait a minute, this is absurd. What are you talking about?
Right.
That's what critical thinking. And then post hypnotic suggestions. So even
Ooh.
after, you know, you have that. So uh, that's the thing. So, you know, I mean, these are just a few. There's many more that people can go into, and, you know, basic hypnosis that people use to maybe hypnosis can be used for good too. You know,
Hmm.
people have reduced addiction, stopped smoking, claiming, you know, to do all of that. So you have that. But I think the other guy dropped. So yeah, if you had anything to
Yeah.
respond for
So
that, Josiah.
yeah. So essentially, I grew up in the church, and I noticed a lot of it right after reading about it in terms of like hypnotic language
A lot of what?
patterns. A lot of hypnotic language patterns. Like some
Hmm.
people would say, find yourself. How are you supposed to find yourself?
How
And
are you
also,
supposed? Yeah.
there's other things like uh, essentially the whole umbrella is called, and correct me whenever I'm wrong, neuro linguistic programming
NLP. Yeah.
and covert hypnosis. So it's under the radar.
Hmm.
And essentially, if you don't know about it, if you haven't been taught about it, maybe if you're like socially savvy, you could naturally recognize that's happening,
Hmm.
right? Maybe you can't even tell that I'm doing it right now, but it can be used for good or evil. That's the
Yeah.
thing.
Exactly. Yeah. We were just remember when I said people have stopped smoking, they've lessened down on bad habits. People have even used hypnosis instead of anesthesia doing surgeries.
Hmm.
Yeah. So you can look it up. You know, this is hypnosis. Hypnosis shows us that the mind can do basically almost anything. I mean, with people, it would have to be repeated, but I mean, I've seen some very, very like amazing type of stuff, like to where it's like, wow, this person, you know, your mind, we don't have an instruction booklet for it. We don't know what the mind can do.
Hmm.
So this is yeah,
The
this is
brain is
and
a very fascinating thing.
well, the brain is different from the mind. So we have the brain, which is the physical, and the mind, which is the non-physical. And that consciousness, it's mistakenly thought to just be one type of consciousness. But we've all said before, a part of me thinks this, or, in some way I feel this way in another thing. I'm split between these two decisions, or, so we see
Mhm.
that we might be made up of more than one consciousness. And when we sleep, where does the consciousness go? And then we
Mhm.
have the subconscious. You're not controlling your heartbeat or your blood flow. That's another part of us, like an autopilot. It's really amazing when you think about it. That's
Yeah.
the most amazing thing. It's like a force, some type of force. And then we see we do have electrical parts to us. I mean, it's really it's a lot of stuff, man. And anybody claiming to know kind of sets themselves up just to be seen as somebody that doesn't really know, because you can't know. You can't know. Nobody can tell me what happens next, what happened before. Now, they can state their belief, and the belief doesn't require any proof, whether they're
Mhm.
religious in a church, a mosque, a temple. It's it's okay because that's what they believe. But when they say that it's the truth,
Mm.
okay, then how do you prove that? Now, there are things that you just can't prove, but I mean, when you think of it logically, do you think something you look at life and everything around the universe, you think,
Sorry, you cutting off a bit.
all right, do you think that that force created a book to tell you certain rules like that? I mean, the universe is like a big safe with the combination locked inside of it. And that's a tough one. That's a tough one when you think about it, because you want to know, but you have to live with if you're honest with yourself, the
Yeah.
reality that you won't know. Like, did we know when we came into being here? No, right? We know that for sure because we're still trying to figure it out. And we don't know what this is. We don't know where we are, when, who, or what we are. If somebody tries to claim that, it's a speculation, it's a belief, but it's not a fact.
Hmm.
I
And
mean,
one
yeah.
last thing before I go. It's gonna sound like ridiculously, like it's gonna sound crazy. Sometimes I would be thinking like, maybe whenever I dream, if that's a different reality, like outside of this dimension, or that's just my subconscious, and then I wake up and go about my day, and then I go back to sleep.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's deep. So you're having deep thoughts. Yes.
Mhm. Well, I'm not gonna hold you. You've probably been on stream for a long time. I just wanted
Yeah.
to check in and
All right. Thanks a lot for sharing your thoughts, man. That's pretty deep.
easy later.
All right. Bye.
Bye, Josiah.
Huh?
I was saying goodbye to him, but
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
wait, has
Yeah.
anyone ever told you? Can I ask you a quick question, you and
Mm-hmm.
Mr. X?
Yeah.
Has anyone told you that you sound like John? What is it? Mike Damone in Fast Times at Ridgemont High? Has anyone ever? Because it's like it's not just the accent; it's like the tone and everything. I think
Really? Mike, which character was that?
he was the guy that was teaching the other guy the smooth talk. It was like the dating coach. That's so crazy because you did some dating coach stuff.
Mike, what's his name? Let me
I
look him
think
up.
it's Damone, Mike Damone. Damone, it's like so funny they made that name up because he was trying to teach the other guy how to get laid, and like to Jennifer Jason Leigh, and then Mr. X sounds like well, to me he sounds like the actor in Princess Bride,
Me?
Wallace
I
Shawn.
sound like him?
Yeah, Wallace Shawn, the guy that was like doing the wine trick with Carrie Elwes, or I don't know how to pronounce his name, but yeah, do you know what I'm talking about? Just your voice. Yeah, no one's ever
Oh,
said
okay.
that. No one's ever
No,
said that to
no.
you.
I have to check out the movie. I never saw the movie, but no,
Yeah,
the first time I heard it.
I think John. I mean, I think Maxed Out sounds a lot more like John Damone than you sound like Wallace Shawn,
Hmm.
yeah, I just thought that was nice. So yeah, check out him talking on Fast Times.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay. But conscious, I'm glad you brought up a lot of the satanic stuff in your perspective, because I think there has to be more talk about that, because this is real life now. Now we're getting into real life and the stuff we're dealing with. I mean, that SA abuse that you're talking about, guess what? They grow up to be adults, some of them, the ones who survive, of course, and they live amongst us, and they've got serious mental health problems. You know?
Yeah. Yeah, we do see that. There's
Yep.
yeah. It's sad too because it's like the predatory, like how Conscious was saying her father telling her that when she was a kid. It's almost incomprehensible. It really
Yeah.
is. Yeah, to
Uh,
be like,
I missed a lot of what she said because with work and everything. But did she say her father dabbled in the occult or something like that?
no, I think she said that he worked as in law enforcement and that they were in Dominican Republic, and he was telling them how they should be grateful that they have, they live in America and that they have parents because a lot of kids, she said a lot of Germans would go there for young boys.
Really?
Yeah, so she was saying, yeah, I was like, wow, that's deep, I mean, it's messed up. It just but you look at it and it makes you wonder, man, what type of monsters, because that's like a monster when you think
Yeah.
about
And it's a big network of monsters
it. Yeah,
worldwide. It's bigger than what we understand
yeah,
and realize. These are people in high and prominent positions too, who hold a lot of power. These aren't just weirdos, they're all weirdos, of course, but I mean, these are people who hold high positions. These are professionals, doctors, lawyers, politicians. You know what I mean?
yeah, yeah. They're very judges. There was a clip of a sheriff shooting a judge. Anybody can look it up. I think it's still on YouTube. He found out
Really?
the sheriff, yeah, was trafficking people, including his daughter. I think his daughter was included. But when he found out, yeah, he lost it. He did it in the office. He walked into the office, and I
Hmm.
think the judge was on the phone. And I was like, wow, this guy kept it real. He
Well, I
kept,
know during the Satanic Panic, what was it called? It was the daycare center in California that went on trial. But, geez, what was the name of that place? I have to look it up. But yeah, some key witnesses got off before they could testify to the Satanic Panic that was happening in. Let me see. I'll look up the name right now.
Mhm.
The Franklin scandal was another one.
In
They had,
Arizona or somewhere
no,
else.
that was they were like literally sending boys to the White House, like to presidents and whatever. That was, I think, they're in the Midwest somewhere. The Franklin
Wow, that's
scandal.
crazy. Wow. So the
Yeah.
White House is like the destination for the trafficked. The,
Yeah, and did you hear about? I mean, the WikiLeaks. Did you guys pay attention to the WikiLeaks when they came out in 2016 or whatever?
yeah.
So, like, what about like all those like the hot dogs, like the what is it, $70,000 worth of hot dogs and pizza were being sent from like Louisiana up to the White House with Obama and whatever.
Yeah. Yeah.
And meanwhile, you're not even allowed to import food into the White House, so it was literally all just what it was. You know what I mean? And Vicky, what's her name? Chrissy Teigen. I just saw a clip of her saying, "Oh, her favorite place to have crazy sex with her husband John Legend was at the Obama event." And it was like, "What?" And like the husband was like, John Legend was like, we're not going to talk about that." But it's like, it's like, whatever. So just to go, can I go back to respond to something you said a long time ago? You said it a couple times over the last few streams, and into in our conversation too. But
hmm
about, you said because Trump with the women and the young girls and all this stuff, and I understand that it's like horrible what it looks like. I used to question it too. I'm like, why is his daughter sitting on his lap like that? Like, I just was like, I was thinking even that when I was just definitely thinking there's something wrong here, and then but then I totally got out of it and whatever. But what they're saying is that if you were going to infiltrate, like supposedly he was asked by like JFK and these like Nixon and all these people that were like the people that knew everything about how
So you're
JFK.
saying he did that to what? Act like he was one of them?
Yeah, in order to get black. Well, no, just because like Jeffrey Epstein was all about blackmailing. He inherited that job from
Oh my goodness.
what's her name? What's her name?
Oh,
Maxwell.
Bree, you are. Oh
Well, but
my
listen,
goodness.
that woman Maxwell, the one that went to jail, or whatever. Her
Mhm.
father was like had Jeffrey Epstein's job before that. It was a whole job, was like working for the Mossad and all the different intelligence agencies around the world, collecting
So
blackmail,
now
on
the
all
lady that Trump was convicted of forcibly penetrating. You can look that up.
what Maxwell.
No, not Maxwell. He forcibly penetrate. According to the law, it would be grape.
Wait,
And he paid millions of dollars in a settlement. So that's one of the felonies.
Was that the porn star?
Who did he do that
No,
to?
no. The porn star was another instance. I mean, it's like over 30 counts. 30 felonies. I mean, and no person would have been incarcerated.
Right. I mean, totally. But the thing is, some of it, like I said, the mainstream media.
No. How do we move forward? We can't just move forward.
No, okay. Well, I just want to say is that if there's a possibility that because he was infiltrating these darkest entities of the planet in order to
now you know again what that is. That's rationalization.
Right. Yeah. So no, but it's a possibility. So I'm just saying it's a possibility, and I leave it open.
Possibility.
It's a possibility.
It's a possibility, like with such a low amount of chance that could actually be. It would be almost equivalent to zero. It would be like saying, okay, if you flap your arms, do you think you're going to fly? Like you can flap your arms as hard as you want, and you're probably not going to be able to lift your body off the ground even 1 foot. And this is the type of possibility. Nothing is impossible, but it's highly improbable that would happen. You would not flap your arms enough to be able to provide lift.
Only in my dreams.
Well, yeah,
I have done it.
Yeah. So we see that, when we apply logic and reason to these things, this is a way to prevent the hypnosis from taking hold in our mind. So because we're thinking, this is what critical thinking does. Critical thinking is amazing. It's like exercise and food for the brain because you're thinking, especially when you create ideas, and Cutzone's right. Gematria psychosis is a serious thing, man. It's real. And it has affected a lot of people, man. It has affected a lot of people. I'm surprised at the amount of people. We live in an epidemic of stupidity and ignorance, and it can attack any one of us at any time.
That's right.
Yeah. And this is, and people that get offended by that. See, that's the thing that people should be really talking about. Oh, why are people so offended? Because they'll say stuff about racial stuff and all of this, and I can understand it, but people getting offended of being doing stupid and ignorant things keeps them stupid and ignorant because you can't criticize it. It looks as if you're insulting them when you're really describing them. You're saying, no, this is not an insult. Now, it can be used as an insult, but it can also be used as a description to say, you have to be careful. When you deal with somebody that's stupid, you're never going to come out ahead. And this is not saying that it's the stupid person's fault. They will accidentally mess it up. And we see this happen. Brother Ali, good to see you, man. He says, logic and critical thinking are the ultimate kings. Exactly, brother. Exactly. That is so true. Josiah. Yeah. Critical thinking, man. That's where.
And they got it in the chat. It was the McMartin school trial. That was a satanic panic that was going on.
That was the trial. Okay. All right.
It's an interesting story. It's an interesting story because Ted Gunderson has some great videos of it. He was taken out, or maybe passed away naturally. I don't know. Mm-hmm. But it was a great story, and it was for real. 200 kids professing that they were 200 preschool kids all agreeing to the same thing is not a coincidence.
Yeah. I don't know if his video is still on YouTube.
They are. I think you'll find him, Ted Gunderson.
Yeah, Gunderson. Yeah, he was like.
I love him.
Yeah, mm-hmm. Man. That guy was a real. He was a good person. He spoke the truth, man, and it sounded almost unbelievable. Truth is stranger than fiction. Is so true.
It is stranger than fiction. Absolutely.
Yeah. The stuff that come out, the stuff we talked about with the people getting caught, with the dead, with the corpses of animals and people, and then in the middle of an act, a sexual act. That's crazy.
It is.
Brother Ali says stupidity is worse than willing, malevolent coercion. Exactly.
Good point.
Good point. Exactly. Stupidity.
Wait. I don't agree with that. Stupidity is worse than malevolent, violence against somebody else?
Exactly. So, okay, if you this is how stupidity is more dangerous than direct knowing malevolence. if you have two people that are in another bunker that want to do you evil, right? They are not as dangerous as a stupid person next to you, because that person, without meaning it, they mean no malevolence. They're not malicious. They actually want to help you defeat the enemy, but they accidentally dropped a grenade and it offs both of you. I've seen this happen in the military. It happens many times. You see it with accidents all the time, and you say, "Wow, this accident is because of stupidity." And Dietrich Bonhoeffer noticed that he was executed in a concentration camp because of stupidity. He said the guards aren't killing him because they hate him or that he stole anything or he hurt them. They're killing them because they're so stupid that they will actually follow these rules and kill him for what somebody else said that he did, which was basically go against, the war. So you look at that and you say, wow, stupidity is incredibly dangerous, much more dangerous than evil, because evil isn't going to do, an evil person wouldn't, most of the time, like if you look at an evil person that wants to live and commit more evil, they're not going to try to do a suicide mission on you. They're not going to try to hurt you in that way. They're going to try to live. Now, in saying that, they could make an accident. If they're stupid and evil, then that it could happen. But the mistakes of stupidity, that's like you driving with a friend and they don't have enough foresight to say, look, let me be careful. It's raining, slow down and drive very careful. No, you have people that get into accidents because of stupidity when they see the weather conditions change and they're driving and they don't adapt. This is clearly, I mean,
I totally agree with you. I actually, as soon as you started talking, like a few sentences ago, I was like, oh yeah, you're totally right. Totally right.
So the stupid person, and this is, at first you gave the honest reaction, which, most of us will say, wait a minute, how? So, you look at that and you say, oh, that's how. So now the scariest thing about stupidity is, Bonhoeffer said, against stupidity, we are defenseless. You never know when it's going to pop up. You never know unless we stay aware if it's going to affect us. And we see this stupidity happen when we buy things we don't need. That's an act of stupidity, especially if we buy them and we get home and then years go by and we realize we never wore that shirt or that outfit that was bought. So in other words, there was no thinking involved. It was an impulse buy, which again, the impulse buy puts a person, that's how people get hypnotized, through coercion, through the red sign that says sale and the color red, it implies action. It hits your subliminal. That's why McDonald's is red and yellow. Those are very, very fiery colors that give an impulse buy. The for sale sign, the sale sign alone, it's usually red with white letters. So colors have a way of affecting us subliminally. Green and blue sometimes imply like trust. If you look at a lot of medical stuff, it's got the blue and white. We are in, like I said before in one of the older streams, it's a laboratory, it is a zoo, and also a farm. It is what it is. White Heat Truth says, Joe Rogan remarked on the power of raising a cat from kittenhood and then offing it with his bare hands. Wow, that is horrible. Holy smokes. Why would somebody do something like that? That's horrible, man. That, when you look at somebody that it's like, man, holy smokes. No wonder he's basically in the camp, right? He was just taking pictures with Toronto Dump. Yeah.
Wait, Joe Rogan did that? He killed a cat that he raised?
Yeah. Did you see this? The thing you want me to highlight? You see it in the chat?
Oh wait, let me go look at that screen because I'm actually looking at the StreamYard muting button.
You want me to? Well, you can see the.
I can go to it. Oh, it's on the thumbnail. Okay, let me. Oh shit, I'm a little bit. I was just there. Oh.
Yep, they're all in the same cabal at the end of the day. There's nothing. We're not voting for our savior. I'm sorry to break the news, but they're all in the same group. Anybody with power, you better be part of the cabal. 'Cause otherwise it ain't happening.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I could. That totally makes sense. But I'm holding out for I think that I believe in miracles. I've had a lot of miracles in my life, so I'm praying for a miracle.
Hey,
Well, the future is data centers. That's the future. There's going to be data centers being built left and right. They're going to double the amount by next year. I mean, this world is turning into a giant computer. We're going into a virtual reality, basically.
Well,
That's the future.
allegedly, there's an inventor. I saw this guy get interviewed. He's this brilliant scientist, dude, or whatever. I'll forget his name, but he supposedly invented a quantum computer that is room temperature. It doesn't need cooling, so like it's not going to be taking up water and whatever. I mean, I think there's a lot of fear mongering going on because like that lowers everyone's vibration and it raises their cortisol and stress. So I just take things with a grain of salt and just do you guys believe in the possible timelines or different dimensions that people can live in? I know it sounds completely
Of course, absolutely,
crazy.
absolutely.
It sounds a little crazy and like airy fairy, but I believe that supposedly the timeline's going into one converging timeline. It'll just be people living in a little bit lower vibrational level where like a lot of the shit's going to be the same as it's always been. And there might be this other elevated one that, allegedly fourth, fifth, and sixth dimension where you can live where it's like a little bit beyond, the limitations of what, the suffering and pain that happens where we're at right now. But, I don't know. I'm keeping my mind open.
Yeah.
Tell me what you think. I didn't mean to interrupt you, Mr. Axel. What were you say? You believe in it too?
No, of course, I believe in other dimensions, absolutely. But unless you take certain drugs or certain hallucinogens, I mean that's one way to experience it. But most likely, we'll just have to wait till we leave this three-dimensional space when our time is over here. But there's certainly other dimensions, that's for sure.
I believe you can tap into them. Like I've been now sober for I stopped drinking when I was sick or whatever. But I think that when you're in touch with nature and you're getting if you're spending time in nature and you're totally clear and you're eating healing foods from the earth and from the creator or whatever, you could tap into things, meditation, all sorts of that, prayer and meditation. Like there are elevated levels of consciousness that you can find here.
Do you do astral projection? Is that one of the ways you do it?
I haven't done that. I've only left my body once during a dream, and that's when I was when I was in LA and I was in a very high state of fight or flight and I
sleep paralysis. You mean sleep paralysis?
I've had sleep paralysis my whole life. I've had many dreams where I've had beings, or you could call them demons or ghosts or extraterrestrials, like enter. I used to always hear footsteps and I used to see them and I used to get frozen. Yeah, I mean, but there's one where I actually like floated above my body and I actually saw my body down beneath me. And this is when I was like in a very big fight or flight when I was leaving, trying to pack up my life in LA, and I was sleeping at my friend's in the Pacific Palisades, taking a nap, and I floated above my body. And then all of a sudden I went down into it seemed like I was on a water slide down to the center of the earth or something. It was so crazy because all the tunnels, they were shiny red. It was like, but it was like China red bricks. It wasn't like regular bricks, but they were bricks, but they were like shiny ceramic bricks. And I remember looking out and seeing other ones, and it was like kids that were coming down through these other like veins in this like water slide, and we all kind of like dropped into this like water, like a pretty kind of like cave or like water or whatever. And the next thing I knew, I was like in some like alien. I don't know if it was alien, but it seemed alien. It was like everything was beige. And I felt like I was in an airport. It was like I could see like big, huge windows, like we could look out to the planes and stuff, but I didn't see any planes. But there was like these big windows. I felt like I was in an airport, and there was like, and I was being shuttled around on some kind of like one of those walkways that move, not an escalator, but one of those like moving walkways that you walk faster on. Like I was being like shuttled around on this like fast like conveyor belt type thing. There was like some being behind me, like. It was just weird. It was the only time I ever left my body. So yeah, I don't astral project, but I.
That reminds me of Follow the Yellow Brick Road, the way you described it. These road leading into the center of the earth, like follow the yellow brick road, like the Wizard of Oz. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it was red and it was weird, but like it was weird because I was above my body, but then all of a sudden I was going down, and so.
Oh no, astral projection is you. I mean, like I had it twice. One time I'm flying through the freaking forest, and when I woke up, I finally smashed into one of the trees, but then I could feel the pain in my lower back when I woke up. You know what I mean? It was like that. It's like, holy crap, you know? And then the other time, of course, I saw those entities too. This was like 2 days in a row.
What
But
entities
yeah,
did you see?
well, I saw the last one was that what's that called? That serpent. That's very common. They have a name for him. I can't remember the name. That little entity that's comes in bed with you. That little tiny thing. I can't remember the name of it. Yeah, and then I did see a sort of a Grim Reaper type thing in the hallway, and that wasn't pleasant to look at. I mean, at all. None of it was pleasant, you know. But my guardian angel saved me, threw me back in. It wasn't me; it was my guardian angel. I saw his hands grab me and throw me back in because I was it's an out of body experience, is what it is.
Right.
But what protects you is your guardian angel. That's the whole protection. You can't really do anything on your own. That's the lie, that you can handle things on your own. That's the biggest deception there is. You don't have that power in that realm. It's completely your guardian angel that's keeping you safe.
Wow.
But,
Kind of sounding like Frailty there, man. You ever seen that movie?
no, I haven't seen that one.
Man, you got to check it, man. That movie is deep with Bill
Mhm.
Paxton. Brother Ali, man, thank you for the support, brother. He says, data center cell welder here. Love you guys, though. Yeah, brother. So thank you, bro. Thank you, man. Yeah,
I'm not
man.
anti or against data centers. It's just this is reality. I'm not
Yeah,
for or
yeah.
against. It's just reality.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
a data center cell, man. Me too, man. I'm data center cell. Denver Airport. Yeah, that mural over there. Yeah, that's like crazy, man. Yeah, Space Monkey says he's seen a lot in his life that more than words can explain. Yeah, life makes sense, but it's stranger than fiction. Exactly.
Facts.
I'm
Yeah.
gonna go back and listen to your dream episode. I want to hear that because
Yeah,
dreams
yeah,
are
you'll
really
see the
important.
cover. Yeah, can dream. I think you'll really like it. I mean, I've been doing dream interpretation for over 10 years, and I had did it on this lady had a crystal store out east. I think it was Nassau County. And yeah, so I'm really deep into that metaphysical stuff. Josiah says I want to come back on the stream again, really engaging. Yeah, you got to hit the link, or I don't know if you see the link pinned to the chat, right? If it's there, here I'll paste it. Space Monkey says part brainwashing, also aiming perfection. Why not be real people in this world? Yeah, how else are we gonna know ourselves? That's true. Honesty, man. Honesty, it's a tough one, man. A lot of people don't want to be honest with themselves. We were born to be who we are. Yeah, man. Sometimes you got to remember who you were before the world told you who to be. Religion is a psyop designed to enslave. It's not spiritual. Re was an ancient, or Ra was an ancient sun named for the sun. The world religion translates to Legion of Ra or Re, meaning sun worship. There is a lot. There is a lot of religions like that. That's the adventure of life. Most people live life like as if they're going to get out of here alive, but we're not. How's it supposed to be? Imperfect. Yeah, there is perfection in the imperfection. It's amazing. I mean, I don't know where heaven is. I did kind of had that thing where I think I did a stream a while ago with this picture as the thumbnail of heaven possibly being a crime scene disguised as paradise. It's a possibility of heaven being a crime scene disguised as paradise.
No, come on, really?
Well, this is the version that they're trying to sell me. I'm not saying that there isn't some type of paradise out there, but what they're telling me heaven is, it's possibly something like that. There's always something more than what they're telling me. Because remember, their whole goal is my thoughts are so powerful that they want to control them. If they can get me to think the thoughts they want me to think, they've won. And this is how they keep winning, because the battle is in the mind. Where the mind goes, the body follows. And that's where we're at, to where it's a battlefield of the mind, not of the flesh. The flesh follows the mind. Even in biblical stuff, right? Proverbs, had a saying, I think 4:23, guard your mind. from all life, for all life flows from it. There are a lot of sayings in biblical, Quranic, Judean, Hindu, other cultures, their religions, that are really, really deep. I mean, and then there's just philosophical things that are deep. When you look at some of the philosophical things, you say to yourself, like, wow, this is amazing that, people think of something. There's a saying from Sun Tzu: an evil man will burn his country to the ground just so he can rule over the ashes. And we see this with dictators and people who don't support the citizens in their countries. Brother Ali says, with life must come death. Yeah, absolutely, man. That's one of the most profound realities. It's really deep. Thanks, Jose. I had made it a while ago. I tell you, AI is good for things if you can guide it, and then I photo edit it after, and it's like, okay, this is what I want it to look like. There's an even bigger saying in the Bible. There's even a saying in the Bible: don't be too evil, but don't be too good either. Wow, that's deep. It's again telling us the middle way. The middle way is really the way. Mark, good to see you. Says some writings talk about how some of the angels weren't happy in heaven. Just something to think about. Wow. Wow, that is deep. That is deep. Yeah.
Isn't that what fallen angels were? They wanted to be God themselves, so they were unhappy with serving.
Well, it's not even that. That's what they're telling us, and it could be that, but that's what they're telling us. But Mark is bringing up an extremely profound thought. This is critical thinking right here in the best form. He says some writings talk about how the angels weren't happy in heaven. Just something to think about. So when you think, you say, why weren't they happy in heaven? Was heaven a crime scene disguised to look as paradise? When you see all the stuff going on here today, right? People have talked about this, Dostoevsky and other writers, about, hey, your crime scene, your heaven is basically a crime scene, and you can keep it. I don't want to go to the crime scene disguised as heaven, where, like in Van Eyck's painting of The Last Judgment, where everybody's in heaven sitting like the cat that ate the canary and rose, and in hell you got snakes and skulls and naked women and stuff. Who, you look at it and you start to say, yeah, heaven is a crime scene built. I mean, look at the churches and stuff like that. They're telling me I'm going to heaven, but the church will tell you to give them money, and if you need money, they'll tell you to pray to God.
But that's man's interpretation of heaven. You got to remember that. Heaven could be something completely different from that. That's just someone else's interpretation.
I would think so. Yeah. I mean, a lot of people actually believe in crime scene heaven. They literally, they're like, hey, that's what the book says. Brother Ali says, if you unalive or brutally assault an evil person for harming someone, you're using the darkness to bring down darkness to defeat the light. Yeah, you definitely. Yeah, and a lot of people, this is stuff they got to think about, man. It's really, yeah, man. Sometimes those who think are demons are actually angels set you free, or actually demons are. All right, those who you think are demons are actually angels to set you free. Okay, I get what you're saying, Cuts. Yeah, that's some deep stuff, man. That's definitely some deep stuff. But yeah, how people get hypnotized. Conscious, you had anything?
Oh, I was gonna say, what if the angels were bored and they like the drama and the contrast, and like that's why we're all coming here to like learn through contrast, and I don't know, maybe they're because a lot of people were addicted to, like, I don't know, excitement, adrenaline, a little bit of drama. I mean, I don't want to admit that, but I think we all have a little bit of that, or I don't know.
Oh, it's a part of us. But what if there was something wrong with heaven and that's why they wanted to leave? So not something wrong with them and wanting excitement, but something actually wrong with heaven. And they're saying, look, they don't want to be there. So that was where I think Mark was implying that, like, it gives you something to think about. Like, why would, it's like you saying, you have a nice house with a husband, but you don't want to be there. And I would think, well, what's wrong with the situation? where it looks like paradise. Why doesn't she want to be there? So why wouldn't angels want to be in heaven? Gives you something to think about. And that's what the streams are about. Yeah. When you get a chance, yeah, definitely check the dreaming one. The dreaming one is pretty deep. We have a couple of other ones we did. I try to keep it to where we talk about profound subjects. I think with Zach and stuff, that was kind of like a sideline. It was kind of fun. I mean, I don't know if he's probably streaming tonight. Who knows? I mean, they seem to have taken an interest in the criticism that has come out of the joining, of the interaction, when we were actually talking on an equal basis. And then he tried to do the hypnosis cult, and he tried to Jim Jones it. He tried to go straight Heaven's Gate, but I'm not trying to join, but yeah, everybody in the chat, man, thank you so much for the support. Appreciate you guys being here. Mr. X, Conscious Rising, Lasagna, Josiah, who came on. Yeah.
Thanks for Conscious for coming on. Great info. We appreciate you coming on. Please come back.
Yeah.
Thank you, guys. Thank you so much.
Hey, it was a pleasure. It was a pleasure. Yeah. So tonight, Monday, every night we stream after 10 o'clock. See you guys soon. Take care and have a good night.
Have a good night.